The words of the blessing of Enoch, with which he blessed the chosen and the righteous, those who would be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and the godless shall be swept away from the earth. And Enoch lifted up his voice and declared his parable, saying, Enoch, a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, beheld a vision of the Holy One in the heavens. The angels revealed these things to me, and from them I heard all that was spoken. From them I gained understanding of all that I saw. Yet what I saw was not meant for this present generation, but for a distant generation still to come, for those who shall live in the latter days. And concerning the elect, I spoke and took up this parable about them. The Holy and Great One shall come forth from his dwelling place. The eternal God shall descend and walk upon the earth, even upon Mount Sinai. He shall appear from his heavenly camp, and the majesty of his power shall be seen from the highest heaven. Then all shall be struck with terror. The watchers shall tremble, and fear and great shaking shall seize them to the farthest ends of the earth. The lofty mountains shall be shaken from their foundations. The high hills shall be brought low. They shall melt like wax before a blazing fire. The earth shall be torn apart, split open, and everything upon it shall perish. Judgment shall fall upon all mankind. But with the righteous he shall make peace. He shall preserve the elect. Mercy shall rest upon them. They shall belong to God, and he shall prosper them. They shall be blessed, and he shall help them. Light shall shine upon them, and he shall establish peace over them. Behold, he comes with 10,000s upon 10,000s of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, to destroy the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of every work of ungodliness they have committed in rebellion, and of every harsh and arrogant word that sinful and godless men have spoken against him. Observe now all that takes place in the heavens. See how the heavenly lights do not alter their courses. The luminaries in the sky rise and set in perfect order, each in its appointed season, never straying from the command given to them. Look also upon the earth and consider what happens there, from the beginning to the end. Notice how firm and faithful its works remain. None of the things on earth change beyond the order appointed for them. All the works of God stand before you as witnesses. Consider summer and winter. See how the whole earth is filled with water, and how clouds, dew, and rain rest upon it according to their season. Observe further how in winter the trees appear withered, stripped bare of their leaves as though dead. Yet not all lose their foliage. There are certain trees that retain their leaves, keeping the old growth for 2 or 3 years until the new appears. Then again, look upon the days of summer. The sun stands high over the earth, blazing in strength. Because of its fierce heat, men seek shade and shelter. The ground burns beneath its rays. The rocks grow hot beneath the sun's power, and the heat becomes so intense that one can scarcely walk upon the earth. And yet observe how the trees clothe themselves once more in green leaves and bear fruit in their season. Therefore consider carefully all the works of God, and understand that he who lives forever has made them all. Year after year, his works continue. They do not fail. They do not wander. They do exactly as he has ordained. See also the sea and the rivers. In the same way, they fulfill their course and do not depart from his command. But you have not remained steadfast. You have not kept the commandments of the Lord. You have turned away from him. With defiled mouths you have spoken proud, rebellious, and blasphemous words against his greatness. O hard-hearted sinners, you shall find no peace. Therefore your days shall be cursed. The years of your life shall perish. The years of your destruction shall be multiplied in everlasting judgment, and you shall receive no mercy. In those days your name shall become a curse among the righteous. By your name shall all who curse pronounce judgment. All sinners and all the godless shall use you as a byword of condemnation. But the righteous shall rejoice. For them there shall be forgiveness of sins, mercy, peace, patience, and salvation. A beautiful light shall shine upon them. But for you sinners, there shall be no salvation. A curse shall rest upon you all. Yet for the elect there shall be light, joy, and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. Wisdom shall be given to them, and they shall live. Never again shall they fall into sin through pride or ungodliness. Those who are wise shall also be humble. They shall no longer transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their lives. They shall not die under divine wrath or judgment. Instead, they shall complete the full number of their days, and their lives shall increase in peace. The years of their joy shall be multiplied in everlasting gladness, peace, and blessing forever. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied in those days, that beautiful and lovely daughters were born unto them. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. They said one to another, Come, let us choose wives for ourselves from among the daughters of men, and let us father children. But Semjaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear that you may not truly be willing to carry out this deed, and that I alone shall bear the punishment of this great sin. Then they all answered him together and said, Let us all swear an oath, and bind ourselves under a curse, that none of us shall turn back from this plan until we have accomplished it. So they all swore together, and bound themselves by mutual oaths and curses. In all, there were 200 of them who descended in the days of Jared upon the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon, because there they had sworn and bound themselves by solemn imprecations. These are the names of their leaders: Semjaza, their chief, Arakiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakiel, Asael, Armaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zakil, Samsapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, and Sariel. These were the chiefs over the tens. And all the others together with them took wives for themselves, each choosing one. They went in unto them, and defiled themselves with them. They taught them charms and enchantments, the cutting of roots, and the hidden properties of plants. And the women became pregnant, and gave birth to great giants, whose height was enormous. These giants devoured all the labor and possessions of mankind, and when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and consumed mankind itself. They sinned against birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish. They devoured one another's flesh and drank blood. Then the earth itself brought accusation against these lawless ones. And Azazel taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. He revealed to them the metals of the earth and the craft of working them. He taught them about bracelets and ornaments, the use of antimony, the beautifying of the eyelids, all manner of precious stones, and every kind of coloring dye. And there arose great wickedness upon the earth. Men gave themselves over to corruption and fornication. They were led astray and became ruined in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros taught the breaking of spells. Barakiel taught astrology. Kokabiel taught the constellations. Ezekiel taught the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel taught the signs of the earth. Shamziel taught the signs of the sun. Sariel taught the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried out, and their cry rose up to heaven. Then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw the great bloodshed upon the earth. They saw all the lawlessness being done under heaven, and they said to one another, The earth, now made desolate and without peace, sends up the voice of its crying to the gates of heaven. The souls of men appeal to us, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of all the ages, the throne of your glory stands through every generation forever. Your name is holy, glorious, and blessed for all eternity. You have made all things. Power over all things belongs to you. Everything lies open and uncovered before your sight. You see all things, and nothing can hide itself from you. You have seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught all unrighteousness upon the earth, and revealed the eternal secrets that were kept in heaven, things that men were never meant to possess. And Semjaza, to whom you gave authority over his companions, has led them into rebellion. They have gone in unto the daughters of men upon the earth. They have lain with women, defiled themselves, and revealed to them every kind of sin. And the women have borne giants. And through this the whole earth has been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now behold, the souls of those who have died cry out and make their plea to the very gates of heaven. Their lament rises up without ceasing because of the lawless deeds committed upon the earth. and you know all things before they come to pass. You see these things, and yet you have not told us what we must do concerning them." Then the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spoke, and he sent Uriel to the son of Lamech and said, "Go to Noah and speak to him in my name. Tell him to hide himself. Reveal to him the end that is drawing near, that the whole earth shall be destroyed, and that a flood is about to come upon all the earth to wipe away everything upon it. And instruct him, so that he may escape, and that his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world." And again the Lord said to Raphael, "Bind Azazel, hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness. Make an opening in the desert, in the place called Dudael, and cast him into it. Throw upon him rough and jagged stones, cover him in darkness, and let him remain there forever. Veil his face so that he may never again behold the light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be hurled into the fire. Then heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted. Proclaim healing over the earth, that the plague may be removed, so that the children of men may not all perish because of the secret things the watchers revealed and taught to their sons. The whole earth has been corrupted through the works that Azazel taught. Therefore to him ascribe all sin." And to Gabriel the Lord said, "Proceed against the bastards, the reprobates, and the children of fornication. Destroy the children born of the watchers from among men. Stir them up one against another, so that they may destroy each other in battle, for they shall not have long life upon the earth. No petition made on their behalf shall be granted to their fathers. Though their fathers hope they might live forever, though they dream that each one of them might see 500 years, that hope shall be cut off." And the Lord said to Michael, "Go, bind Semjaza and his companions, those who joined themselves to women and defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, when they have looked upon the destruction of their beloved children, then bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the final judgment lasting forever and ever is completed. In those days they shall be led away into the abyss of fire, into torment and into prison, and there they shall be confined forever. And whoever shall be condemned and destroyed shall from that time on be bound together with them to the end of all generations. Destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the offspring of the watchers, because they have corrupted and oppressed mankind. Remove all wrong from the face of the earth. Let every evil work come to an end. Let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted forever with joy. Then all the righteous shall escape and live, and they shall continue until they beget thousands of children. All the days of their youth and all the days of their old age they shall complete in peace. Then the whole earth shall be tilled in righteousness. It shall be planted with trees and filled with blessing. All desirable trees shall be planted in it, and vines shall be planted there. The vine that is planted there shall yield wine in abundance. Every measure of seed sown upon the earth shall bear 1,000-fold, and every measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And you shall cleanse the earth from all oppression, from all unrighteousness, from all sin, from all godlessness, and from every uncleanness that is committed upon it. Wipe them away from the earth. Then all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall worship me. They shall offer adoration, they shall praise me, and all shall bow before me. The earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, from all sin, from all punishment, and from all torment. Never again will I send such things upon it from generation to generation, forever. In those days the Lord said, I will open the storehouses of blessing that are in heaven, and I will pour them out upon the earth, upon the labor and work of the children of men. Truth and peace shall be joined together throughout all the days of the world, and throughout every generation of mankind. Before these things, Enoch had been hidden away, and none of the children of men knew where he was hidden, where he dwelt, or what had become of him. His dealings were with the watchers, and his days were spent among the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages, when, behold, the watchers called to me Enoch the scribe, and said, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go and declare to the watchers of heaven who have abandoned the high heaven, the holy and eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, doing as the children of earth do, taking wives for themselves. You have brought great destruction upon the earth. You shall have no peace and no forgiveness of sin. Inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, they shall see the slaughter of their beloved ones. Over the destruction of their children they shall mourn and make supplication forever, but they shall never obtain mercy or peace. So Enoch went and said to Azazel, You shall have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against you. You are to be bound. You shall receive no relief, no mercy, and no petition will be granted to you, because of the unrighteousness you have taught, and because of all the godless, wicked, and sinful works you have revealed to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were struck with terror. Fear and trembling seized them. They begged me to write out a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from that time on, they could no longer speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven, because of the shame of their sins, for which they had already been condemned. So I wrote out their petition, and the prayer concerning their spirits and their deeds, and regarding their requests for forgiveness and length of days. Then I went away and sat beside the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. There I read their petition until sleep overtook me, and behold, a dream came to me. Visions fell upon me. I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came, commanding me to speak and declare it to the sons of heaven, and to rebuke them. When I awoke, I went to them. They were all sitting together, weeping in Abel Main, which lies between Lebanon and Senesa, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions I had seen in sleep. Then I began to speak words of righteousness, and I rebuked the heavenly watchers. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and of the rebuke of the eternal watchers, according to the command of the Holy and Great One, in that vision. What I now speak, I saw in my sleep. I now declare it with a tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men, so that they may converse, understand with the heart, and receive wisdom. Just as he created mankind and gave them the power to understand the word of wisdom, so also he created me, and gave me the power to rebuke the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, but in my vision it was shown to me that your petition will never be granted throughout all the days of eternity. Judgment has been finally passed upon you. Your petition shall not be granted. From this time forward, you shall not ascend into heaven for all eternity. And it has been decreed that you shall be bound in the earth for all the days of the world. But before that, you shall see the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall take no joy in them, for they shall fall before your eyes by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor shall your petition for yourselves be granted, even though you weep, pray, and utter every word written in the petition I wrote. And this is how the vision was shown to me. Behold, clouds invited me, and mist called to me. The course of the stars and the flashes of lightning urged me onward. The winds in the vision lifted me up and carried me away, bearing me into heaven. And I came near to a wall built of crystal, surrounded by tongues of living fire, and it began to strike terror into me. Then I entered into those tongues of fire and drew near to a great house built of crystal. Its walls were like a floor of shining crystal mosaic, and its foundation was crystal. Its ceiling was like the pathway of the stars and the lightning, and between them were fiery cherubim. Its heaven was clear like water. A flaming fire encircled the walls, and its gates blazed with fire. I entered into that house, and it was hot like fire, and cold like ice. There was no comfort in it, no delight of life. Fear covered me, and trembling took hold of me. Shaking and overcome with dread, I fell on my face, and I beheld a vision. There before me stood another house, greater than the first. Its entire doorway stood open before me, and it was built all of flames of fire. In every way it surpassed the former, in splendor, magnificence, and vastness, so much so that I cannot fully describe to you its glory or its measure. Its floor was of fire, above it were flashes of lightning, and the course of the stars, and its ceiling also was blazing fire. Then I looked and saw within it a lofty throne. Its appearance was like crystal, and its wheels were like the shining sun. There was the vision of cherubim. From beneath the throne flowed streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look upon it, and the great glory sat upon it. His garment shone brighter than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter and behold his face because of the majesty and glory, and no flesh could gaze upon him. A river of flaming fire was all around him, and a great fire stood before him. None could draw near to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he required no counselor. The most holy ones near him did not depart by night, nor did they leave him. And until that moment I had lain prostrate on my face, trembling. Then the Lord called me with his own mouth and said, "Come near, Enoch, and hear my word." And one of the holy ones came to me and awakened me. He made me rise and brought me near to the doorway, and I bowed my face downward. Then he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, "Fear not, Enoch, you righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Draw near and hear my voice. Go and say to the watchers of heaven, sent you to intercede for them. But you should have been interceding for men, not men for you. Why then did you abandon the high, holy, and eternal heaven? Why did you lie with women and defile yourselves with the daughters of men? Why did you take wives for yourselves and behave as the children of earth behave, and father giants as your sons? Though you were once holy, spiritual beings living the eternal life, you defiled yourselves with the blood of women. You brought forth children through flesh and blood, and like the sons of men, you desired what is mortal flesh that dies, blood that perishes. This is why I gave wives to the sons of men, that they might multiply, that children might be born to them, and that nothing necessary for life on earth should be withheld from them. But you were not made for this. You were created as spiritual beings, living the eternal life, immortal through all the generations of the world. Therefore, I did not appoint wives for you. For the spiritual ones of heaven, heaven itself is their dwelling place. And now, the giants who were born from the union of spirit and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and the earth shall be their habitation. Because they were born from men, yet had their beginning from the holy watchers, their origin is mixed and corrupted. Therefore they shall be called evil spirits on the earth. The spirits of heaven belong in heaven, but the spirits born of the earth belong upon the earth. And the spirits of the giants shall afflict, oppress, destroy, assault, wage war, and bring ruin upon the earth. They shall stir up trouble among men without ceasing. They shall hunger though they do not eat. They shall thirst though they do not drink. They shall bring offense, violence, and misery. These spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against women, because from them they came, from the days of the slaughter, destruction, and death of the giants. From the very moment when the spirits departed from the flesh of those monstrous offspring, those spirits shall go forth and destroy without judgment, falling upon them at once. Thus they shall continue in destruction until the day of the great consummation, the great judgment in which the age shall be brought to its end over the watchers and over the godless, and all shall be completed. And now, concerning the watchers who sent you to intercede for them, those who formerly dwelt in heaven, you shall say to them, you were in heaven, but not all mysteries had yet been revealed to you. And the mysteries you did know were of no benefit to you, yet in the hardness of your hearts you made them known to women. Through those mysteries, women and men have multiplied evil upon the earth. Therefore say to them, you shall have no peace. Then began Enoch's journeys through the earth and through the hidden realms. And they took me and brought me to a place where those who were there were like flaming fire. Whenever they wished, they appeared in the form of men. And they brought me to the place of darkness, and to a mountain whose summit reached into heaven itself. There I saw the places of the luminaries and the treasuries of the stars, of thunder, and of the uttermost depths. I saw a fiery bow, and arrows with their quiver, a fiery sword, and all the flashes of lightning. Then they brought me to the living waters and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, a stream in which the fire flowed like water and poured itself into the great western sea. I saw the great rivers. I came to the great river and to the great darkness, and I went to the place where no living flesh may walk. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter. I saw the place from which all the waters of the deep flow out. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the great deep itself. Then I saw the storehouses of all the winds. I saw how God had used them to establish the whole of creation, and I saw the firm foundations of the earth. I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which uphold the earth, and the firmament of heaven. I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven, and take their appointed place between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds of heaven that turn and guide the circuit of the sun, and all the stars toward their setting. I saw the winds upon the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels, and I saw at the ends of the earth the firmament of heaven above. Then I went onward and came to a place that burns day and night. There stood 7 mountains made of magnificent stones, 3 toward the east and 3 toward the south. Of those to the east, one was of colored stone, one of pearl, and one of jasper. Those toward the south were of red stone. But the middle mountain rose toward heaven like the throne of God, made of alabaster, and the summit of the throne-like peak was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire. Beyond those mountains lay a region at the far end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. Among them I saw pillars of fire descending, immeasurable both in height and depth. Beyond that abyss I saw a place with no firmament of heaven above it, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water there, no birds, no sign of life at all. It was a desolate and dreadful place. There I saw 7 stars, like great burning mountains. And when I asked concerning them, the angel said to me, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. It has become a prison for the stars and for the host of heaven. These stars that roll over the fire are those which transgressed the commandment of the Lord at the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. Therefore he was angry with them, and bound them here until the time of their guilt is completed, even for 10,000 years. And Uriel said to me, Here shall stand the angels who joined themselves with women. Their spirits, taking many different forms, have corrupted mankind and led them astray, causing them to sacrifice to demons as though they were gods. Here they shall remain until the day of the great judgment, when they shall be judged and brought to their final end. And the women of those angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw this vision, the ends of all things. No man has seen what I have seen. And these are the names of the holy angels who keep watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels, who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Sarachael, one of the holy angels, who is set over the spirits of those who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels, who is over paradise, over the serpents, and over the cherubim. Remiel, one of the holy angels, whom God appointed over those who rise. Then I proceeded to a place where all things were chaotic, and there I saw something terrible beyond description. I saw no heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath, only a dreadful, chaotic waste. There I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it, like great mountains burning with fire. Then I said, For what sin are they bound? For what reason were they cast here? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, and who was chief over them, answered and said, Enoch, why do you ask? Why are you so eager for the truth? These are some of the stars of heaven which transgress the commandment of the Lord. They are bound here until 10,000 years are completed, the full measure of the time required by their sins. From there I went to another place, even more terrifying than the first. There I saw a horrible thing, a great fire blazing and burning, and the place was cleft as far down as the abyss, filled with enormous descending columns of fire. Neither its extent nor its measure could I see, nor could I imagine it. Then I said, How fearful is this place, and how terrible it is to behold. But Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, "Enoch, why are you overcome with such fear and terror?" And I answered, "Because of this dreadful place, and because of the spectacle of this agony." And he said to me, "This place is the prison of the angels, and here they shall be imprisoned forever." Then I went to another place, and he showed me, in the west, a great and lofty mountain of hard rock. Within it were 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth they were, and how deep and dark to behold. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, "These hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should be gathered into them. Yes, all the souls of the children of men shall be gathered here. These places have been made to receive them until the day of their judgment, until their appointed time, until the great judgment comes upon them. And I saw the spirits of the dead, the souls of the children of men. Their voices went forth to heaven, crying out and making petition. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and said, 'Whose spirit is this, whose voice goes forth and makes its plea to heaven?' And he answered me, 'This is the spirit that came forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew. He continues to make his plea against Cain until his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, until his offspring are wiped out from among the seed of men.' Then I asked concerning the hollow places, and why one was separated from another. And he answered me, saying, 'These divisions have been made so that the spirits of the dead may be separated. One division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, where there is a bright spring of water. Another has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, when judgment has not yet been executed upon them during their lifetime. There their spirits are set apart in great pain until the great day of judgment, punishment, and torment for those who are cursed forever. There shall be retribution for their spirits, and there he shall bind them forever. Another division has been made for the spirits of those who make their plea, who reveal their destruction when they were slain in the days of sinners. And another division has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners, men complete in transgression, companions of the wicked. Yet their spirits shall not be destroyed on the day of judgment, nor shall they rise from there. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, 'Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever.' From there I went to another place, toward the west at the ends of the earth. There I saw a fire burning and running without rest. It never paused from its course, neither by day nor by night, but moved steadily and without interruption. And I asked, 'What is this thing which never rests?' Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, 'This course of fire which you have seen is the fire in the west, which pursues all the luminaries of heaven.' From there I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire that burned both day and night. And when I had gone beyond it, I saw 7 magnificent mountains, each different from the other. Their stones were splendid and beautiful, glorious in appearance and lovely to behold. 3 were toward the east, one rising upon another, and 3 were toward the south, one rising upon another. Between them were deep and rugged ravines, none joined to another. And the 7th mountain stood in the midst of them, and it surpassed them all in height, resembling the seat of a throne. Fragrant trees encircled that throne-like mountain, and among them was one tree unlike any I had ever smelled before. No fragrance on earth was like it, none among the other trees compared to it. Its fragrance surpassed every perfume, its leaves never withered, its blossoms never faded, its wood never decayed, and its fruit was beautiful, its clusters resembling the dates of a palm. Then I said, 'How beautiful is this tree, and how sweet its fragrance! Its leaves are lovely, and its blossoms are delightful to behold.' Then Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me and was their leader, answered me. And he said, 'Enoch, why do you ask me about the fragrance of this tree? Why do you desire to know the truth concerning it?' And I answered him, 'I desire to know everything, but especially concerning this tree.' Then he said to me, 'This high mountain that you have seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy and Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he comes down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it until the great judgment, when he will take vengeance on all and bring all things to their final completion forever. Then it shall be given to the righteous and the holy. Its fruit shall be food for the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then shall the righteous rejoice with joy and be glad. They shall enter into the holy place, and its fragrance shall be in their bones. They shall live a long life upon the earth, even as your fathers lived in the days of old. And in their days no sorrow, no plague, no torment, and no calamity shall touch them. Then I blessed the God of glory, the eternal King, who had prepared such things for the righteous, and has created them, and promised that they shall receive them. Then I journeyed on into the center of the earth, and there I saw a blessed region. In that place stood trees with branches that remained alive and flourishing. And I also saw what appeared to be the remains of a tree that had been cut down or broken apart. There, too, I beheld a holy mountain. Beneath that mountain, toward the east, there flowed a stream, and its waters ran southward. Then I looked again toward the east and saw another mountain, higher than the first. Between the two was a deep and narrow ravine, and through it a stream also ran beneath the mountain. To the west there stood yet another mountain, lower than the first and of lesser height, and between them was a deep and dry ravine. At the far edges of the three mountains there was yet another ravine, deep and barren, all of them narrow and cut out of hard rock. No trees had been planted upon them, and I marveled at the rocks. I marveled at the ravine. Yes, I marveled greatly. Then I said, "For what purpose is this blessed land, filled everywhere with trees, and this accursed valley between them?" Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, "This accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered, those who utter with their lips unseemly words against the Lord, and who speak harsh things against his glory. Here they shall be assembled, and here shall be the place of their judgment. In the last days there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the sight of the righteous forever. Then those who have received mercy shall bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King. In the days of judgment over the former, the righteous shall bless him for the mercy by which he has assigned to them their portion. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and declared his majesty, praising him with all honor. After this I went toward the east, into the midst of the desert mountain range. There I saw a wilderness, solitary and quiet, yet filled with trees and growing plants. Water poured down from above in abundance, rushing like a mighty stream. It flowed toward the northwest, and on every side it caused clouds and dew to rise. Then I went to another place in the desert, farther east of that mountain range, and there I saw fragrant trees breathing out the scent of frankincense and myrrh. Their form also resembled the almond tree. Beyond these I traveled farther east, and I came to another place, a valley full of water. In it stood a tree whose color resembled fragrant resin-bearing trees, like the mastic. Along the slopes of those valleys I saw cinnamon trees of sweet fragrance, and beyond them I continued eastward. Then I saw other mountains, and among them were groves of trees from which flowed fragrant nectar called Sarara and Galbanum. Beyond those mountains I saw yet another mountain, far to the east at the ends of the earth, and upon it grew aloe trees. All the trees there were full of aromatic resin, like almond trees, and when one was burned, its fragrance was sweeter than any perfume. After beholding these fragrant regions, I turned my eyes northward beyond the mountains, and saw 7 mountains full of choice nard, fragrant trees, cinnamon, and pepper. Then I crossed over the summits of all these mountains, far toward the east of the earth. I passed above the Erythraean Sea, and went far beyond it. I passed over the angel Zotiel, and at last I came to the garden of righteousness. There I saw many great trees growing beyond those others, beautiful trees, majestic and glorious, full of sweet fragrance, and among them was the tree of wisdom. Whoever eats of it gains profound wisdom. That tree was lofty like a fir, and its leaves were like those of the carob tree. Its fruit was like clusters of grapes, beautiful in appearance, and its fragrance spread far and wide. Then I said, How beautiful this tree is, and how lovely its appearance, how desirable its form, and how wonderful its fragrance. Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, answered and said, This is the tree of wisdom, from which your father of old and your aged mother, those who were before you, ate. And when they ate, they received wisdom. Their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and because of this they were driven out of the garden. From there I went on to the ends of the earth, and I saw great beasts, each one different from the other. I also saw birds, differing in appearance, in beauty, and in voice, each unlike the rest. To the east of those living creatures I saw the ends of the earth, where the heaven rests and where the portals of heaven stand open. And I saw the stars of heaven coming forth, and I counted the portals from which they proceeded. I wrote down all their outlets, each star according to its number, its name, its course, its position, its appointed time, and its months, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed them to me. He showed me all things and wrote them down for me. Their names he also wrote for me, as well as their laws and their companies. Then I went northward, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great and glorious structure at the extremities of the world. There I saw 3 portals of heaven opened. Through them the north winds proceed. When they blow, they bring cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. Out of one portal they blow for blessing, but when they come forth from the other 2, they come with violence and affliction upon the earth. They blow with force and with judgment. Then I went westward, to the ends of the earth, and there also I saw 3 portals of heaven standing open, just as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets. And from there I traveled southward, to the ends of the earth, and I saw 3 open portals of heaven. From them come dew, rain, and wind. Then I returned eastward, to the ends of heaven, and there I saw the 3 eastern portals of heaven standing open, and above them smaller portals. Through these lesser portals the stars of heaven pass, running their course toward the west along the path appointed to them. And whenever I saw these things, I blessed the Lord of glory. Indeed, I continued always to bless the Lord of glory, who has wrought great and wondrous marvels, that he might show the greatness of his works to angels, to spirits, and to men, so that they might praise his work and all his creation. Behold the majesty of his power, extol the work of his hands, and bless him forever. This is the beginning of the parables. The second vision that Enoch saw, the vision of wisdom, was given to Enoch, son of Jared, son of Mahalalel, son of Kenan, son of Enosh, son of Seth, son of Adam. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I lifted up my voice to declare, speaking to those who dwell upon the earth. Hear, you men of old, and see, you who are to come after, the words of the Holy One which I will speak before the Lord of spirits. It would have been fitting to declare these things only to the men of former times, yet even from those who come after, we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Never before, up to this present day, has such wisdom been given by the Lord of spirits as that which has been granted to me, according to my understanding, according to the good pleasure of the Lord of spirits, by whom the lot of eternal life has been given to me. Now 3 parables were imparted to me, and I lifted up my voice and recounted them to those who dwell on the earth. The first parable: when the congregation of the righteous shall appear, and sinners shall be judged for their sins, and driven from the face of the earth. When the righteous one shall be revealed before the eyes of the righteous, whose chosen works depend upon the Lord of spirits. When light shall dawn upon the righteous, and the elect who dwell upon the earth. Then where shall the dwelling of sinners be? Where shall the resting place of those be who denied the Lord of spirits? Better for them if they had never been born. For when the secrets of the righteous are revealed, and sinners are judged, and the godless are driven away from the presence of the righteous and the elect, then those who possess the earth shall no longer be mighty or exalted. They shall no longer be able to behold the face of the Holy One. For the Lord of spirits will cause his light to shine upon the face of the holy, the righteous, and the elect. Then kings and the mighty shall perish. They shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous and the holy. From that time forward, none shall seek mercy for themselves from the Lord of spirits, for their life shall have come to its end. And it shall come to pass in those days that holy and chosen children shall descend from the high heaven, and their seed shall become one with the children of men. In those days Enoch received books of zeal and wrath, books of turmoil and banishment, and mercy shall not be granted to the wicked, says the Lord of spirits. And in those days a whirlwind lifted me up from the earth and carried me to the end of the heavens. There I saw another vision, the dwelling places of the holy and the resting places of the righteous. There my eyes beheld their dwellings among his righteous angels, and their resting places among the holy ones. They petitioned, they interceded, and they prayed for the children of men. Righteousness flowed before them like water, and mercy like dew upon the earth. Thus it is among them forever and ever. And in that place my eyes saw the elect one of righteousness and faith. I saw his dwelling place beneath the wings of the Lord of spirits. In his days righteousness shall prevail, and the righteous and the elect shall be without number before him forever and ever. And the elect who stand before him shall shine with a strength like blazing lights. Their mouths shall be filled with blessing, and their lips shall continually exalt the name of the Lord of spirits. Righteousness shall never fail in his presence, and uprightness shall never fade before him. There I longed to dwell. My spirit yearned for that dwelling place, for from the beginning that has been my portion. So it had been established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. In those days I praised and exalted the name of the Lord of spirits with blessings and with songs of praise, for he had appointed me for blessing and for glory, according to the good pleasure of the Lord of spirits. For a long time my eyes gazed upon that place, and I blessed him and praised him, saying, Blessed is he, and blessed be his name from the beginning and forevermore. Before him there is no end. He knew what is eternal before the world was created, and he knows what shall be from generation to generation. Those who do not sleep bless you. They stand before your glory and bless, praise and exalt you, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of spirits. He fills the earth with spirits. And there my eyes saw all those who do not sleep. They stood before him and blessed him, saying, Blessed are you, and blessed be the name of the Lord forever and ever. And my face was changed, for I could no longer endure the sight in my former strength. After this I saw thousands upon thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000. I saw a multitude beyond all number, and beyond all reckoning, standing before the Lord of spirits. And on the four sides of the Lord of spirits I saw four presences, different from those who never sleep. I learned their names, for the angel who went with me revealed their names to me and showed me all the hidden things. And I heard the voices of those four presences as they spoke praises before the Lord of glory. The first voice blessed the Lord of spirits forever and ever. The second voice I heard blessing the elect one, and the elect ones who depend upon the Lord of spirits. The third voice I heard praying and interceding for those who dwell on the earth, making supplication in the name of the Lord of spirits. And the fourth voice I heard driving back the Satans and forbidding them to come before the Lord of spirits to accuse those who dwell upon the earth. Then I asked the angel of peace who went with me, the one who showed me all that was hidden, Who are these four presences whose words I have heard and written down? And he said to me, This first is Michael, the merciful and long-suffering. The second, who is set over all the diseases and all the wounds of the children of men, is Raphael. The third, who is set over all the powers, is Gabriel. And the fourth, who is appointed over the repentance of those who inherit eternal life, is Phanuel. These are the four angels of the Lord of spirits, and these are the four voices I heard in those days. After that I saw all the mysteries of the heavens, and how the kingdom is divided, and how the deeds of men are weighed in the balance. There I saw the dwelling places of the elect, and the dwelling places of the holy. And my eyes saw all the sinners being driven away from there, those who deny the name of the Lord of spirits being dragged off, unable to remain because of the punishment that proceeds from the Lord of spirits. There also my eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and the thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow across the earth. I saw the secrets of the clouds and the dew, and I saw from where they come forth and how they moisten the dust of the earth. There I saw closed chambers from which the winds are apportioned, the chamber of hail and winds, the chamber of mist and clouds, and the cloud that hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, where they go forth and where they return, and I beheld their glorious return. I saw how one is more splendid than the other, their stately course, how they do not leave their appointed paths, how they add nothing to their course and take nothing from it, but keep faith with one another according to the oath by which they are bound. First the sun goes forth and traverses its path according to the commandment of the Lord of spirits, and mighty is his name forever and ever. After that I saw the hidden and the revealed path of the moon. She fulfills the course of her path in that place by day and by night, standing opposite the sun before the Lord of spirits. And they give thanks and praise without ceasing, for to them praise itself is rest. For the sun brings change, whether for blessing or for judgment, and the path of the moon is light to the righteous but darkness to sinners. In the name of the Lord, who made a separation between light and darkness, who divided the spirits of men, and who strengthened the spirits of the righteous by his righteousness. For no angel can hinder this, and no power is able to resist it, because he appoints a judge for them all, and all are judged before him. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell, so a dwelling place was assigned to her in the heavens. Wisdom went forth to make her dwelling among the children of men, but she found no place to rest. So wisdom returned to her place and took her seat among the angels. Then unrighteousness went forth from her chambers, whom she did not seek she found, and she dwelt among them like rain in the desert, like dew upon thirsty ground. And I saw other lightning flashes and the stars of heaven, and I saw how he called them all by name, and they obeyed him. And I saw how they are weighed in a righteous balance according to the measure of their light. I saw the width of their spaces, the day of their appearing, and how their revolutions produce lightning. I saw their revolutions according to the number of the angels, and how they keep faith with one another. Then I asked the angel who went with me, who showed me what was hidden, "What are these?" And he said to me, "The Lord of spirits has shown you their meaning. These are the names of the holy ones who dwell upon the earth and believe in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever." And I saw another wonder concerning the lightnings, how some of the stars arise and become lightning, and afterward cannot leave that new form. The second parable. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the name of the Lord of spirits. They shall not ascend into heaven, and upon the earth they shall find no resting place. Such shall be the fate of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are reserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day my elect one shall sit upon the throne of glory, and he shall judge their works. Their resting places shall be beyond number, and their souls shall grow strong within them when they behold my elect one, and those who have called upon my glorious name. Then I will cause my elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the earth and make it a blessing, and I will cause my elect ones to dwell upon it. But sinners and evildoers shall not set foot upon it. For I have provided peace for my righteous ones, and caused them to dwell before me. But for sinners there is judgment waiting with me, and I shall destroy them from the face of the earth. And there I saw one who had a head of days. His head was white like wool, and with him was another being whose face had the appearance of a man, and his countenance was full of grace, like one of the holy angels. Then I asked the angel who went with me, who showed me all the hidden things, concerning that Son of Man, who he was, where he came from, and why he went with the head of days. And he answered me and said, "This is the Son of Man, who has righteousness, with whom righteousness dwells, and who reveals all the treasures of what is hidden, because the Lord of spirits has chosen him, and his portion has preeminence before the Lord of spirits in everlasting uprightness. This Son of Man whom you have seen shall raise up kings and the mighty from their seats, and the strong from their thrones. He shall loosen the reins of the powerful, and break the teeth of sinners. He shall cast down kings from their thrones and from their kingdoms, because they do not exalt him, nor praise him, nor humbly acknowledge from whom their kingdom was given to them. He shall humble the faces of the strong, and fill them with shame. Darkness shall be their dwelling place, and worms shall be their bed. They shall have no hope of rising from that bed, because they did not exalt the name of the Lord of spirits. These are the ones who judge the stars of heaven, who lift up their hands against the Most High, who tread upon the earth and claim it as their own. All their deeds reveal unrighteousness. Their power rests in their wealth, and their faith is in the gods they have made with their own hands. They deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they persecute the houses of his assembly, and the faithful who cling to the name of the Lord of spirits. And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall rise, and the blood of the righteous shall ascend from the earth before the Lord of spirits. In those days the holy ones who dwell in heaven above shall unite with one voice. They shall supplicate, pray, praise, give thanks, and bless the name of the Lord of spirits on behalf of the blood of the righteous that has been shed, and on behalf of the prayer of the righteous, that it may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits, that justice may be done for them, and that they may not suffer forever. In those days I saw the head of days as he took his seat upon the throne of his glory, and the books of the living were opened before him. And all his host that is in heaven above, and his counselors, stood before him. And the hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been completed, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous had been avenged before the Lord of spirits. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, inexhaustible and overflowing. Around it were many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank from them, and were filled with wisdom. Their dwelling places were among the righteous, the holy, and the elect. And at that hour the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yes, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He shall be a staff for the righteous to lean upon, and not fall. He shall be the light of the nations, and the hope of those who are troubled in heart. All who dwell upon the earth shall fall down and worship before him. They shall praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. For this reason he was chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world, and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and the righteous. For he has preserved the portion of the righteous, because they hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure has their life been ordered. In those days the kings of the earth shall be cast down in countenance, and the strong who possess the land shall be brought low because of the works of their hands. For in the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not be able to save themselves. And I will deliver them into the hands of my elect one. Like straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. Like lead in water, so shall they sink before the face of the righteous. And no trace of them shall be found any more. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest upon the earth. Before him they shall fall and never rise again. And there shall be no one to take them by the hand and lift them up, raise them up, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. Blessed be the name of the Lord of spirits. For wisdom is poured out like water before him, and glory never fails in his presence for ever and ever. He is mighty in all the mysteries of righteousness, and unrighteousness shall vanish like a shadow, never to endure. Because the elect one stands before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, and his power unto all generations. And in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, the spirit that gives insight, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. He shall judge the hidden things, and no one shall be able to speak a lie before him, for he is the elect one before the Lord of spirits, according to his good pleasure. And in those days a great change shall come upon the holy and the elect. The light of days shall rest upon them, and glory and honor shall be turned toward the holy. On the day of affliction, when evil has been stored up for sinners, the righteous shall triumph in the name of the Lord of spirits. And he will cause the others to witness it, so that they may repent and turn away from the works of their hands. They shall have no honor through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name they shall be saved. For the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, because great is his compassion. Yet he is also righteous in his judgment, and before his glory unrighteousness shall not endure. At his judgment the unrepentant shall perish before him. And from that time forward I will have no mercy on them, says the Lord of spirits. And in those days the earth also shall give back what has been entrusted to it. Sheol shall give back what it has received, and hell shall return what it owes. For in those days the elect one shall arise, and he shall choose the righteous and the holy from among them, for the day has drawn near when they shall be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit upon my throne, and from his mouth shall pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel, for the Lord of spirits has given them to him and has glorified him. And in those days the mountains shall leap like rams, and the hills shall skip like lambs satisfied with milk. The faces of all the angels in heaven shall be radiant with joy. The earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk thereon. After those days, in that same place where I had seen all the visions of the hidden things, for I had been carried away in a whirlwind and borne toward the west, my eyes saw all the secret things of heaven. A mountain of iron, a mountain of copper, a mountain of silver, a mountain of gold, a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. And I asked the angel who went with me, saying, What are these things that I have seen in secret? And he said to me, All these things which you have seen shall serve the dominion of his anointed, that he may be mighty and powerful upon the earth. Then the angel of peace answered me again and said, Wait a little, and all the secret things that surround the Lord of spirits shall be revealed to you. These mountains which your eyes have seen, the mountain of iron, the mountain of copper, the mountain of silver, the mountain of gold, the mountain of soft metal, and the mountain of lead, all these shall become before the elect, one like wax before the fire, and like water pouring down from above upon the mountains. They shall melt away and become powerless beneath his feet. And in those days no one shall be saved by gold or silver, nor shall anyone be able to escape by them. There shall be no iron for war, nor shall a man clothe himself with a breastplate. Bronze shall be useless, tin shall be worthless and unesteemed, lead shall not be desired. All these things shall be denied and destroyed from the face of the earth, when the elect one appears before the face of the Lord of spirits. Then my eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and sea and islands shall bring gifts and offerings and tokens of homage. Yet that deep valley shall never be filled. Their hands commit deeds of lawlessness, and sinners devour all whom they oppress unjustly. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits. They shall be banished from the face of his earth, and they shall perish forever and ever. For I saw all the angels of punishment abiding there, preparing all the instruments of Satan. Then I asked the angel of peace who went with me, For whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said to me, They are preparing these for the kings and the mighty of this earth, so that by these they may be destroyed. And after this, the righteous and elect one shall cause the house of his congregation to appear. From that time forward they shall no longer be hindered in the name of the Lord of spirits. And these mountains shall not remain firm before his righteousness, but the hills shall become like a fountain of water. Then the righteous shall have rest from the oppression of sinners. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and there I saw a deep valley filled with burning fire. And they brought the kings and the mighty, and began to cast them into that deep valley. There my eyes saw how they fashioned for them instruments, chains of iron of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace, who went with me, saying, For whom are these chains being prepared? And he said to me, These are being prepared for the hosts of Azazel, so that they may seize them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation. They shall cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of spirits commanded. And Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phanuel shall take hold of them on that great day, and cast them on that day into the burning furnace, so that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness, for becoming servants of Satan, and for leading astray those who dwell on the earth. And in those days punishment shall come from the Lord of spirits. He will open all the chambers of the waters which are above the heavens, and the fountains which are beneath the earth. And all the waters shall be joined together with the waters. The water that is above the heavens is the male, and the water that is beneath the earth is the female. And they shall destroy all who dwell upon the earth, and all who dwell beneath the ends of heaven. And when they have recognized the unrighteousness they committed upon the earth, then by these waters they shall perish. After that, the head of days repented and said, In vain have I destroyed all who dwell upon the earth. And he swore by his great name, From this time forward I will never again do thus to all who dwell upon the earth. I will set a sign in the heavens, and it shall be a pledge of faithfulness between me and them forever, so long as heaven remains above the earth. And this is according to my command. When I desire to seize them by the hand of the angels on the day of tribulation and pain, I will cause my chastisement and my wrath to rest upon them, says God, the Lord of spirits. You mighty kings who dwell upon the earth, you shall behold my elect one, how he sits upon the throne of glory, and judges Azazel, and all his associates, and all his hosts in the name of the Lord of spirits. And I saw there the hosts of the angels of punishment going forth, holding scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, To whom are these who carry the scourges going? And he said to me, To their elect and beloved ones, so that they may be cast into the chasm of the abyss in the valley. Then that valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of their lives shall be brought to an end. Never again shall the days of their deception be counted. And in those days the angels shall return and hurl themselves toward the east against the Parthians and Medes. They shall stir up the kings, and a spirit of unrest shall come upon them. They shall rouse them from their thrones, and they shall break forth like lions from their dens, and like hungry wolves among their flocks. And they shall go up and trample underfoot the land of his elect ones. And the land of his elect ones shall be before them like a threshing floor, and like a beaten path. Before them, like a threshing floor, and like a highway. But the city of my righteous shall become an obstacle to their horses. There they shall begin to turn against one another. Their own right hands shall rise in violence against themselves. A man shall no longer recognize his brother, nor a son his father or his mother. Slaughter shall multiply until the number of corpses cannot be counted, and their punishment shall not be in vain. In those days Sheol shall open its mouth, and they shall be swallowed up into it. Their destruction shall be complete. Sheol shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. And after this I saw another host, wagons and men riding upon them, coming on the winds from the east, from the west, and from the south. The sound of their wagons was heard, and when that tumult arose, the holy ones in heaven took notice. The pillars of the earth were shaken out of their place, and the sound of it was heard from one end of heaven to the other in a single day. And they shall all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. This is the end of the second parable. Then I began to speak the third parable concerning the righteous and the elect. Blessed are you, you righteous and chosen ones, for glorious shall be your portion. The righteous shall dwell in the light of the sun, and the elect in the light of eternal life. The days of their life shall have no end, and the days of the holy shall be without number. They shall seek the light, and find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. Peace shall belong to the righteous in the name of the eternal Lord. And after this it shall be said to the holy in heaven, that the earth has become bright like the sun, and darkness has passed away. There shall be a light that never ends, and they shall not come to the limit of days. For first the darkness shall be destroyed, and then the light shall be established before the Lord of spirits, and the light of uprightness shall stand forever before him. In those days my eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and of the lights, and the judgments they execute according to his command, whether for blessing or for curse. As the Lord of spirits wills, there also I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how, when its voice resounds in heaven, the sound is heard upon the earth. He caused me to see the judgments carried out upon the earth, whether they come for prosperity and blessing, or for judgment and curse, according to the word of the Lord of spirits. After that, all the secrets of the lights and the lightning were shown to me, how they flash forth for blessing and for fullness. Then came another vision. In the 500th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month, in the life of Enoch, I saw in that parable how a mighty quaking shook the heaven of heavens. The host of the Most High, the angels, thousands upon thousands, 10,000 times 10,000 were seized with great unrest. And the head of days sat upon the throne of his glory, and the angels and the righteous stood around him. Then a great trembling seized me, fear took hold of me, my strength failed, my whole being dissolved within me, and I fell upon my face. Then Michael sent another angel from among the holy ones, and he raised me up. And when he had lifted me, my spirit returned to me, for I had not been able to endure the sight of that host, nor the shaking and the commotion of heaven. And Michael said to me, "Why are you troubled by such a vision? Until now has lasted the day of his mercy. Until now he has been merciful and long-suffering toward those who dwell upon the earth. But when the day, the power, the punishment, and the judgment come, which the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who do not honor the righteous law, for those who deny righteous judgment, and for those who take his name in vain, then that day shall stand as a covenant for the elect, but as an inquisition for sinners. When the punishment of the Lord of spirits rests upon them, it shall not come in vain. It shall strike children together with their mothers, and children together with their fathers. Afterward judgment shall proceed according to his mercy, and according to his patience. And on that day 2 monsters shall be separated. One, a female monster named Leviathan, to dwell in the depths of the sea, above the fountains of the waters. The other, a male named Behemoth, who shall occupy with his breast a desolate wilderness called Dendane, east of the garden where the elect and the righteous dwell, where my grandfather was taken up, the 7th from Adam, the first man whom the Lord of spirits created. And I asked the other angel that he might show me the power of these monsters, how they were separated on a single day, and cast one into the abysses of the sea, and the other into the dry wilderness. And he said to me, "You, son of man, seek to know what is hidden." Then the other angel who went with me and showed me what was hidden, began to reveal to me what is first and last in the heaven above, in the heights, beneath the earth, in the depths, at the ends of heaven, and on the foundations of heaven. He showed me the chambers of the winds, how the winds are divided, how they are weighed, and how the portals of the winds are reckoned each according to the power of its breath. He showed me also the power of the lights of the moon, and the power appointed to them, and the divisions of the stars according to their names, and how all their divisions are arranged. And he showed me the thunder according to the places where it falls, and the divisions among the lightnings so that they may flash forth, and their host so that they may obey at once. For the thunder has places of rest assigned to it while it waits for its peal. And the thunder and the lightning, though they are not one and the same, are never separated. They move together by the power of the Spirit and do not part from one another. For when the lightning flashes, the thunder gives forth its voice, and the Spirit enforces a pause during the peal, and divides equally between them. For the treasury of their peals is like the sand, and each peal, as it sounds, is restrained by a bridle, and turned back by the power of the Spirit, and driven forward according to the many quarters of the earth. And the spirit of the sea is masculine and strong. By the force of its might it draws back the waters with restraint, and in like manner it is driven forward and scattered among all the mountains of the earth. And the spirit of the hoarfrost has its own angel, and the spirit of the hail is a good angel, and the spirit of the snow has withdrawn from its chambers because of its power. There is a special spirit within it, and what rises from it is like smoke, and its name is frost, and the spirit of the mist is not joined with them in their chambers, but it has its own chamber. Its course is glorious, both in light and in darkness, in winter and in summer, and in its chamber there is an angel. And the spirit of the dew dwells at the ends of heaven, and is connected with the chambers of the rain. Its course is in winter and in summer, and the clouds and the mist are joined together, and one gives itself to the other. And when the spirit of the rain goes forth from its chamber, the angels come and open the chamber and lead it out. And when it is spread over the whole earth, it joins itself to the waters upon the earth. And whenever it joins itself to the waters upon the earth, for these waters are appointed for those who dwell upon the earth, they are nourishment for the earth from the Most High who is in heaven. Therefore, a measure has been fixed for the rain, and the angels are entrusted with its care. These things I saw toward the garden of the righteous. And the angel of peace who was with me said to me, These two monsters have been prepared in accordance with the greatness of God, and they shall serve his purpose. And in those days I saw how long cords were given to the angels. They took wings for themselves and flew, and they went toward the north. Then I asked the angel, saying, Why have those angels taken those cords and gone away? And he said to me, They have gone to measure. Then the angel who went with me said, These shall bring the measures of the righteous and the cords of the righteous to the righteous, so that they may lean upon the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. The elect shall begin to dwell with the elect. These are the measures that shall be given to faith, and they shall strengthen righteousness. And these measures shall reveal all the secrets of the depths of the earth, and all who have been destroyed in the wilderness, all who have been devoured by beasts, and all who have been swallowed by the fish of the sea, so that they may return and stand firm on the day of the elect one. For none shall perish before the Lord of spirits, and none can be destroyed outside his will. And all who dwell above in heaven received a command, and power, and one voice, and one light like fire. And with their first words they blessed and exalted and glorified him with wisdom. They became wise in speech and in the spirit of life. And the Lord of spirits seated the elect one upon the throne of glory. And he shall judge all the works of the holy ones above in heaven, and their deeds shall be weighed in the balance. And when he lifts up his countenance to judge their hidden ways, according to the word of the name of the Lord of spirits, and according to the path of the righteous judgment of the Lord of spirits, then they shall all speak with one voice, and bless and glorify, and exalt and sanctify the name of the Lord of spirits. And he shall summon all the host of heaven, all the holy ones above, and the host of God, the cherubim, the seraphim, the ophanim, all the angels of power, all the angels of dominion, the elect one, and the other powers on the earth and over the waters. On that day they shall raise one voice. They shall bless and glorify and exalt him in the spirit of faith, in the spirit of wisdom, in the spirit of patience, in the spirit of mercy, in the spirit of judgment and peace, and in the spirit of goodness. And they shall all say with one voice, Blessed is he, and blessed be the name of the Lord of spirits, forever and ever. All who do not sleep in heaven above shall bless him. All the holy ones in heaven shall bless him. All the elect who dwell in the garden of life shall bless him. Every spirit of light that is able to bless and glorify and exalt and hallow, his blessed name shall bless him. And all flesh, beyond measure, shall glorify and bless his name forever and ever. For great is the mercy of the Lord of spirits, and he is long-suffering. All his works and all that he has created he has revealed to the righteous and the elect in the name of the Lord of spirits. And thus the Lord commanded the kings, the mighty, the exalted, and those who dwell upon the earth, saying, Open your eyes and lift up your horns, if you are able to recognize the elect one. And the Lord of spirits seated him on the throne of his glory, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him. The word of his mouth slays all sinners, and all the unrighteous are destroyed from before his face. And in that day all the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and all who possess the earth, shall rise and stand. Then they shall see and recognize how he sits upon the throne of his glory, and how righteousness is judged before him, and how no lying word is spoken before him. Then anguish shall seize them like a woman in labor, when her child enters the womb, and she struggles in pain to bring forth. One part of them shall look upon another, and terror shall overtake them. Their faces shall fall in shame, and pain shall grip them when they see that Son of Man sitting upon the throne of his glory. Then the kings and the mighty and all who possess the earth shall bless and glorify, and exalt him who rules over all the one who was hidden. For from the beginning the Son of Man was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his power, and revealed him to the elect. And the congregation of the elect and the holy shall be sown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And all the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who rule the earth, shall fall down on their faces before him and worship. They shall set their hope upon that Son of Man, and they shall petition him and beg for mercy at his hands. Nevertheless, the Lord of spirits will so press them that they shall be driven quickly from his presence. Their faces shall be filled with shame, and darkness shall grow deeper upon them. And he will deliver them to the angels for punishment, that vengeance may be executed upon them, because they oppressed his children and his elect. And they shall become a spectacle to the righteous and to his elect, and the righteous shall rejoice over them, because the wrath of the Lord of spirits rests upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. But on that day the righteous and the elect shall be saved. Never again shall they see the face of sinners and the unrighteous. And the Lord of spirits shall abide over them, and with that Son of Man they shall eat, lie down, and rise, forever and ever. And the righteous and the elect shall rise from the earth. They shall no longer cast down their faces, but shall be clothed with garments of glory. These shall be garments of life from the Lord of spirits. Your garments shall not grow old, and your glory shall not pass away before the Lord of spirits. In those days the mighty and the kings who possess the earth shall beg him to grant them a little respite from the angels of punishment into whose hands they have been delivered, so that they may fall down and worship before the Lord of spirits, and confess their sins before him. And they shall bless and glorify the Lord of spirits, saying, Blessed is the Lord of spirits, the Lord of kings, the Lord of the mighty, the Lord of the rich, the Lord of glory, and the Lord of wisdom. In every hidden thing your power shines forth. From generation to generation your dominion endures, and your glory is forever and ever. Deep are all your mysteries, and beyond number. Your righteousness is beyond all reckoning. Now we have learned that we ought to glorify and bless the Lord of kings, and him who is king over all kings. And they shall say, Would that we had rest, so that we might glorify, give thanks, and confess our faith before his glory. But now we seek a little rest and cannot find it. We pursue it and do not obtain it. Light has vanished from before us, and darkness has become our dwelling place forever and ever. For we did not believe in him. We did not glorify the name of the Lord of spirits. We did not glorify our Lord. Instead, we trusted in the scepter of our kingdom and in our own glory. And in the day of our suffering and tribulation, he does not save us, and we find no resting place for confession that our Lord is true in all his works, in all his judgments, and in his justice. His judgments show no partiality, and we pass away from before his face because of our works, and all our sins are counted up in righteousness. Then they shall say to themselves, Our souls are full of unjust gain, but that gain does not keep us from going down into the burden of Sheol. And after that, their faces shall be filled with darkness and shame before that Son of Man. They shall be driven from his presence, and the sword shall remain before his face in their midst. Thus spoke the Lord of spirits. This is the ordinance and the judgment concerning the mighty, the kings, the exalted, and those who possess the earth before the Lord of spirits. And I saw other forms hidden in that place. And I heard the voice of the angel saying, These are the angels who descended to the earth, and revealed what was hidden to the children of men, and by those revelations led the children of men into sin. And in those days Noah saw that the earth had sunk down, and that its destruction was near. So he arose from there, and went to the ends of the earth. And he cried aloud to his grandfather Enoch. And Noah said 3 times with a bitter voice, Hear me, hear me, hear me. And I said to him, Tell me what is happening upon the earth, that the earth is in such evil condition and shaken so violently. I fear that I too may perish with it. Then there was a great commotion upon the earth, and a voice was heard from heaven, and I fell upon my face. And Enoch, my grandfather, came and stood by me and said to me, Why have you cried out to me with such a bitter cry, weeping? And a decree had gone forth from the presence of the Lord concerning those who dwell upon the earth. Their destruction had been determined, for they had learned all the secrets of the angels, all the violence of the Satans, all their powers, even their deepest hidden arts. They had learned the power of those who practice sorcery, the workings of witchcraft, the craft of those who cast molten images for all the earth, and the mysteries of how silver is drawn from the dust of the ground, and how soft metal comes forth from the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth in the same manner as the former, There is a fountain that brings them forth, and an angel stands within it, and that angel is preeminent. After that, my grandfather Enoch took me by the hand and raised me up, and he said to me, "Go, for I have asked the Lord of spirits concerning this commotion upon the earth." And he said to me, "Because of their unrighteousness, their judgment has been fixed and shall not be delayed by me forever. Because of the sorceries they have searched out and learned, the earth and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed. And for them there shall be no place of repentance forever, because they have revealed what was hidden. Therefore they are the accursed. But as for you, my son, the Lord of spirits knows that you are pure and blameless of this accusation concerning the hidden things. He has appointed your name among the holy, and he will preserve you among those who dwell upon the earth. He has also appointed your righteous seed for kingship and for great honor. And from your seed shall go forth a fountain of the righteous and holy, without number forever." After that he showed me the angels of punishment, who are prepared to come and release all the powers of the waters beneath the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction upon all who dwell and abide upon the earth. And the Lord of spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth, that they should not let the waters rise, but should hold them back, for those angels had authority over the powers of the waters. And I departed from the presence of Enoch. And in those days the word of God came to me and said, "Noah, your portion has come up before me, a portion without blame, a portion of love and uprightness. And now the angels are building a wooden vessel, and when they have completed that work, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And from it shall come forth the seed of life, and a change shall take place so that the earth shall not remain without inhabitant. And I will establish your seed before me for ever and ever. I will spread abroad those who dwell with you. They shall not be unfruitful upon the face of the earth, but they shall be blessed and multiply upon the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who revealed unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley, in which there was a great convulsion and an upheaval of the waters. And while this took place, from that fiery molten metal and from the shaking of that place, there arose a smell of sulfur, and it was joined to those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led mankind astray burned beneath that land, and through its valleys flowed streams of fire, where those angels are punished who deceived the inhabitants of the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell upon the earth for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. For their spirit is full of lust, so that they may be punished in their bodies, because they denied the Lord of spirits and behold their punishment daily, yet still do not believe in his name. And in proportion, as the burning of their bodies grows more severe, so shall a corresponding change come upon their spirits forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits no one shall speak an idle word, for judgment shall come upon them, because they trusted in the lust of the body and denied the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters shall undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in those waters, the springs of water shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend, the water of those springs shall change and become cold. Then I heard Michael answering and saying, "This judgment by which the angels are judged is a testimony against the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. For these waters of judgment serve for the healing of the bodies of kings and for the lust of their bodies. Therefore they will not see, and they will not believe, that those waters shall be changed and become a fire that burns forever." After that, my grandfather Enoch gave me the teaching of all the hidden things in the books and in the parables that had been given to him, and he gathered them together for me in the words of the book of parables. And on that day Michael answered Raphael and said, "The power of the Spirit carries me away and makes me tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the hidden things, the judgment of the angels. Who can endure that severe judgment which has been decreed, before which they melt away?" And Michael answered again and said to Raphael, "Whose heart would not be softened by this? Whose inward being would not be troubled by this word of judgment that has gone forth against them because of those whom they led astray. And it came to pass, when he stood before the Lord of spirits, that Michael said to Raphael, I will not take their part in the sight of the Lord. For the Lord of spirits has been angry with them, because they acted as though they themselves were the Lord. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever. For neither angel nor man shall have any share in it, but they alone have received their judgment forever and ever. And after this judgment they shall terrify others and make them tremble, because they revealed these things to those who dwell upon the earth. And behold, these are the names of those angels. The first of them is Samjaza, the second Arakiel, the third Amen, the fourth Kokabiel, the fifth Turel, the sixth Rumjal, the seventh Danel, the eighth Nekael, the ninth Barakel, the 10th Azazel, the 11th Amaros, the 12th Batariel, the 13th Buzasashel, the 14th Hananel, the 15th Turel, the 16th Simapesiel, the 17th Jetrel, the 18th Tumael, the 19th Turel, the 20th Rumel, the 21st Azaziel. These are the chiefs of their angels, and these are the names of their leaders over hundreds, over fifties, and over tens. And the name of the first is Yekon. He is the one who led astray all the sons of God, brought them down to the earth, and led them astray through the daughters of men. And the second was named Asbeel. He imparted evil counsel to the holy sons of God, and led them astray so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. And the third was named Gadriel. He is the one who showed the children of men all the blows of death. He led Eve astray, and he showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield, the coat of mail, the sword for battle, and every weapon of destruction. From his hand these things have gone forth against those who dwell upon the earth from that day and forevermore. And the fourth was named Penemu. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he revealed to them all the secrets of wisdom. He instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and through this many have sinned from age to age, even unto this day. For men were not created for this purpose, to confirm their faithfulness by pen and ink. Men were created to be like the angels, to remain pure and righteous, and death, which destroys all things, would not have laid hold of them. But through this knowledge they are perishing, and through this power it is consuming me also. And the fifth was named Kasdeya. He is the one who showed the children of men all the evil smitings of spirits and demons, and the striking of the child in the womb, that it might perish before birth, and the striking of the soul, and the bites of the serpent, and the afflictions that come through the burning heat of noon, the son of the serpent, named Tabayet. And this is the work of Kasdeja, the chief of the oath, which he revealed to the holy ones when he dwelt in glory on high. And the name of that oath is Baker. This angel asked Michael to show him the hidden name, that he might pronounce it in the oath, so that those who revealed all that was kept secret to the children of men might tremble before that name and before the oath. And such is the power of that oath, for it is mighty and strong. And this oath, called Akai, he placed into the hand of Michael. And these are the secrets of that oath. By it the heavens were suspended before the world was created, and they remain so forever. By it the earth was founded upon the waters. By it, from the hidden chambers of the mountains, beautiful waters flow forth from the beginning of the world and unto eternity. By it the sea was created, and as its boundary he set for it the sand, against the time of its fury, so that it cannot pass beyond from the beginning of the world unto eternity. By it the depths are made firm, and they abide and do not move from their place forever and ever. By it the sun and moon complete their course, and they do not depart from their appointed order from eternity to eternity. By it the stars complete their paths, and he calls them by their names, and they answer him forever and ever. And so also the spirits of the waters, and of the winds, and of every breath of air, and their paths from all the quarters of the winds. There also are preserved the voices of the thunder, and the light of the lightning. There are preserved the chambers of the hail, the chambers of the frost, the chambers of the mist, the chambers of the rain, and the chambers of the dew. And all these believe and give thanks before the Lord of spirits. They glorify him with all their strength, and their sustenance is found in every act of thanksgiving. They thank and glorify and exalt the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And this oath is mighty over them. By it they are preserved. By it their paths are preserved. By it their course is not destroyed. And there was great joy among them. And they blessed and glorified and exalted him, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed to them. And he sat upon the throne of his glory. And the sum of judgment was given to the Son of Man. And he caused the sinners to pass away and be destroyed from the face of the earth. And those who led the world astray shall be bound with chains. And in the place where they gathered for destruction they shall be imprisoned, and all their works shall vanish from the face of the earth. From that time forward there shall be nothing corruptible, for that Son of Man has appeared and has taken his seat upon the throne of his glory. And all evil shall pass away before his face. The word of that Son of Man shall go forth and stand strong before the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. And after these things it came to pass that, while still living, his name was lifted up into the presence of that Son of Man and to the Lord of spirits, from among those who dwell upon the earth. And he was lifted up on the chariots of the Spirit, and his name vanished from among them. From that day I was no longer counted among them. And he set me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took cords to measure out for me the place of the elect and the righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous, those who from the beginning have dwelt in that place. And after this my spirit was taken up, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the holy sons of God. They were walking upon flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their clothing shone, and their faces gleamed like snow. And I saw 2 rivers of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. Then I fell upon my face before the Lord of spirits. And Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand and raised me up. He led me into all the hidden mysteries and showed me every secret of righteousness. He showed me all the secrets of the ends of heaven, and all the chambers of the stars, and all the luminaries, and from where they go forth before the face of the holy ones. And he carried my spirit into the heaven of heavens. There I saw something like a structure built of crystal, and between those crystals were tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the circle surrounding that house of fire, and on its 4 sides were rivers filled with living fire, and they encircled that house. Round about it were seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim. These are the ones who do not sleep, and who guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels beyond counting, thousands upon thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000 surrounding that house. And Michael, and Raphael, and Gabriel, and Phanuel, and the holy angels who are above the heavens, went in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house, Michael and Gabriel, and Raphael and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them came the head of days. His head was white and pure like wool, and his garment cannot be described. And I fell upon my face. My whole body gave way. My spirit was transformed. And I cried out with a loud voice, in the spirit of power, blessing and glorifying and exalting. And the blessings that proceeded from my mouth were pleasing before that head of days. Then that head of days came with Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel, with thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. And one came to me and greeted me with his voice and said to me, "This is the Son of Man, who was born unto righteousness, and righteousness abides over him, and the righteousness of the head of days never departs from him." And he said to me, "He proclaims peace to you in the name of the world to come. For from there peace has gone forth since the creation of the world, and so shall it be unto you forever and ever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsakes him. With him shall be their dwelling places. With him shall be their inheritance, and they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with that Son of Man. And the righteous shall have peace and an upright path in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. This is the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion, and their seasons, according to their names, their places of origin, and their months, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me and who is their guide, showed them to me. And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, until the new creation is accomplished, which shall endure forever. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The sun, the great luminary, rises in the eastern portals of heaven, and sets in the western portals of heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. The moon also rises and sets through these same portals, as do the leaders of the stars and those who follow them, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, each one moving in exact order, perfectly corresponding to the other. And besides these, there are many windows to the right and to the left of the portals. First there goes forth the great luminary, whose name is the Sunday. Its circuit is like the circuit of heaven itself, and it is filled completely with blazing fire that gives both light and heat. The chariot on which it ascends is driven by the wind, and when the sun sets from heaven, it returns by way of the north in order to come again to the east, and it is guided so that it reaches its appointed portal and shines once more upon the face of heaven. In this manner, it rises in the first month, through the great portal, the 4th of those 6 portals in the east. And in that 4th portal, from which the sun rises in the first month, there are 12 window openings, from which flames proceed whenever they are opened in their appointed season. When the sun rises in heaven, it comes forth through that 4th portal for 30 mornings in succession, and it sets with perfect exactness in the 4th portal in the west of heaven. During this period, the day grows longer each day, and the night grows shorter each night until the 30th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by 1/9 part. The day amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. Then the sun rises from that 4th portal and sets in the 4th, and afterward returns to the 5th portal of the east for 30 mornings. It rises from there and sets in the 5th portal. Then the day grows longer by 2 parts and comes to 11 parts, while the night becomes shorter and falls to 7 parts. Then the sun returns again to the east and enters the 6th portal and rises and sets through that 6th portal for 31 mornings according to its sign. On that day the day becomes longer than the night, and indeed the day becomes double the night. The day reaches 12 parts, and the night is shortened to 6. Then the sun begins to descend, so that the day may become shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east and enters the 6th portal, and rises from it and sets from it for 30 mornings. And when those 30 mornings are complete, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, while the night becomes 7. Then the sun goes forth from that 6th portal in the west, returns to the east, and rises in the 5th portal for 30 mornings, and sets again in the west in the 5th western portal. On that day the day decreases by 2 parts, and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. Then the sun goes forth from that 5th portal, and sets in the 5th portal of the west, and rises again in the 4th portal for 31 mornings, according to its sign, and sets in the west. On that day, the day is equalized with the night. They become equal in length. The night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. Then the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns again to the east, and rises for 30 mornings in the 3rd portal, and sets in the west in the 3rd portal. And on that day the night becomes longer than the day, and night continues to lengthen, while day continues to shorten, until the 30th morning. Then the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. Then the sun rises from that 3rd portal, and sets in the 3rd portal in the west, and returns to the east, and for 30 mornings rises in the 2nd portal in the east, and in the same manner sets in the 2nd portal in the west of heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. Then the sun rises on that day from that 2nd portal, and sets in the west in the 2nd portal, and returns to the east into the 1st portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the 1st portal in the west of heaven. And on that day the night becomes longer, and amounts to double the day. The night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. And thus the sun has completed the divisions of its circuit and turns again upon those divisions of its course. It enters that portal for 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite it. And on that night, the night has decreased in length by 1/9 part. It becomes 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. Then the sun returns and enters the second portal in the east, and moves again upon those divisions of its course for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, so that the night amounts to 10 parts and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, then turns again to the east and rises in the third portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day the night decreases again and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. The night is equal to the day. And the year is thus exactly completed in 364 days. The length of the day and the night, and the shortening of the day and the night, all come about through the course of the sun. By this course they are distinguished, by this they are separated. And so it comes to pass that its path grows longer by day and shorter by night. This is the law and the course of the sun, and its return, as often as it returns 60 times the great luminary, which is called the sun forever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary, and so it is named according to its appearance, as the Lord commanded. As it rises, so it sets. It neither diminishes nor rests, but runs day and night, and its light is 7 times brighter than that of the moon, though in size the two are equal. After this law, I saw another law concerning the lesser luminary, which is called the moon. Its circuit is like the circuit of heaven, and the chariot in which it rides is driven by the wind. Light is given to it in fixed measure. Its rising and setting change with each month, and its days are like the days of the sun. And when its light is full and complete, it amounts to 1/7 part of the light of the sun. And this is the way in which it rises. Its first phase appears in the east on the 30th morning, and on that day it becomes visible. For you, this is the first phase of the moon, on the 30th day, together with the sun in the portal from which the sun rises. And 1/2 of it comes forth by a 7th part, while its whole disk remains empty of light except for 1/7 part of it, and a 14th part of its light. And when it receives 1/7 part of the half of its light, then its light amounts to 1/7 part and half thereof, and it sets with the sun. And when the sun rises, the moon rises with it, and receives half of 1 part of light. And in that night, at the beginning of its morning, at the start of the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun and remains invisible that night, having 14 parts and the half of one of them. Then it rises on that day with exactly 1/7 part, and comes forth and withdraws from the rising of the sun. And in the remainder of its days it grows bright in the remaining 13 parts. Then I saw another law, and another course for her, how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. And all these things Uriel, the holy angel who is the leader of them all, showed to me. He showed me their positions, and I wrote them down as he revealed them to me. I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights, until 15 days were completed. In single 7th parts she completes all her light in the east, and in single 7th parts she completes all her darkness in the west. And in certain months she changes her setting, and in certain months she follows her own distinct course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun in those 2 middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th. She goes forth for 7 days, then turns back and returns again through the portal from which the sun rises, and there she completes all her light. Then she withdraws from the sun, and in 8 days enters the 6th portal from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the 4th portal, she goes forth 7 days until she emerges from the 5th, and then turns back again in 7 days into the 4th portal, and there completes all her light. Then she withdraws and enters into the 1st portal in 8 days, and returns again in 7 days into the 4th portal from which the sun comes forth. Thus I saw their positions, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. And if 5 years are added together, the sun has an excess of 30 days. And all the days that accrue to the sun over the course of those 5 years, when they are fully counted, amount to a complete number of days. The excess of the sun and of the stars comes to 6 days in each cycle. Year by year those days are added, and so the moon falls behind the sun and the stars by a measured number of days. Yet the sun and the stars complete all the years with exact precision. They neither advance nor delay their appointed place by even a single day for all eternity, but fulfill the years in perfect justice. In the reckoning of years there are fixed days, and in the full course of those years the appointed number is completed. But for the moon alone, in its yearly course, it falls short by a certain number of days. Thus, over the years it lags behind, and its deficiency is counted until the total is made known. All the days by which the moon falls behind in the years are reckoned exactly, and the year is brought to completion in agreement with the stations of the world and with the stations of the sun, which rises and sets through the portals appointed for it. And the leaders of the heads of the thousands, who are set over all creation and over all the stars, also govern the 4 intercalary days. These are inseparable from their office in the reckoning of the year. These serve upon the 4 days that are not counted in the ordinary reckoning of the year. Because of them, men often go astray in calculation. For these luminaries truly render service in the stations of the world, one in the first portal, one in the third, one in the fourth, and one in the 6th portal of heaven. And the exactness of the year is completed through its separate 364 stations. As for the signs, the times, the years, and the days, these the angel Uriel showed to me, the one whom the Lord of glory has appointed forever over all the luminaries of heaven, in heaven and in the world, so that they might rule upon the face of heaven, appear upon the earth, and serve as leaders of day and night, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the ministering creatures that move in all the chariots of heaven. In like manner, Uriel showed me 12 doors open in the circuit of the chariot of the sun in heaven. Through them the rays of the sun break forth, and from them warmth is spread over the earth when they are opened in their appointed seasons. So too for the winds and for the spirit of the dew, when they are opened, standing open in heaven at the far ends. And as for the 12 portals in heaven, at the ends of the earth, from which the sun, moon, stars, and all the works of heaven come forth in the east, and in the west there are many windows open to the right and to the left of them. And each window, in its appointed season, sends forth warmth corresponding to those doors from which the stars come forth, according to the command given them, and into which they set according to their number. And I saw chariots in heaven running through the world above those portals, and in them revolve the stars that never set. And one of those was larger than all the rest, and it is that one which makes its course through the whole world. At the ends of the earth I saw 12 portals open toward all the quarters of heaven, from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are opened on the face of heaven toward the east, 3 in the west, 3 on the right hand toward the south, and 3 on the left hand toward the north. The first 3 belong to the east, the next 3 to the north, then 3 to the south on the left, and 3 to the west. From 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from the other 8 come harmful winds. When they are sent forth, they bring destruction upon all the earth, upon the waters upon it, upon all who dwell there, and upon everything in the waters and on the land. The first wind from those portals is called the east wind. It comes forth through the first portal on the east, inclining toward the south. From it come desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. Through the second portal in the middle comes what is fitting. From it come rain, fruitfulness, prosperity, and dew. Through the third portal, which lies toward the north, come cold and drought. After these come the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them, inclining toward the east, comes a hot wind. Through the middle portal next to it come fragrant scents, dew, rain, prosperity, and health. Through the third portal, which lies toward the west, come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. After these come the north winds. From the 7th portal in the east come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. From the middle portal come, in a straight direction, health and rain and dew and prosperity. Through the third portal in the west come clouds and hoarfrost and snow and rain and dew and locusts, and after these come the west winds. Through the first portal adjoining the north come dew and frost and cold and snow and ice. From the middle portal come dew and rain and prosperity and blessing. Through the last portal, adjoining the south, come drought and desolation and burning and destruction. Thus are completed the 12 portals of the 4 quarters of heaven. And all their laws, all their plagues, and all their blessings I have shown to you, my son Methuselah. And the first quarter is called the east, because it is the first. The second is called the south, because there the Most High shall descend. Yes, there in a special sense shall he who is blessed forever come down. The western quarter is called the diminished, because there all the luminaries of heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, called the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of men. The second contains seas of water, the abysses, forests, rivers, darkness, and clouds. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 high mountains, higher than all the mountains that are upon the earth. And from there come forth hoarfrost, and days and seasons and years pass away. I saw 7 rivers upon the earth, greater than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its waters into the great sea. 2 of them come from the north to the sea, and pour their waters into the Erythraean Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 come out on the side of the north to their own sea, 2 of them to the Erythraean Sea, and 2 to the Great Sea. And they discharge themselves there, though some say they empty into the desert. And I saw 7 great islands, 2 on the mainland, and 5 in the Great Sea. And these are the names of the sun. The first is Oriaris, and the second is Thomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first is Asonia, the second Ebla, the third Benassi, and the 4th Ire. These are the 2 great luminaries, and their circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. In the circumference of the sun there are 7 portions of light added to it, more than to the moon, and in fixed measure light is transferred until the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. Then they set and enter the portals of the west, make their circuit by the north, and come forth again through the eastern portals upon the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14th part of her appears in heaven. Her light becomes full in her on the 14th day. 15 parts of light are transferred to her until the 15th day, when her light is complete according to the sign of the year, and she becomes 15 parts. And the moon grows by the addition of 14th parts. Then in her waning the moon decreases, on the first day to 14 parts of light, on the second to 13, on the third to 12, on the 4th to 11, on the 5th to 10, on the 6th to 9, on the 7th to 8, on the 8th to 7, on the 9th to 6, on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, on the 12th to 3, on the 13th to 2, and on the 14th to the half of a 7th. And on the 15th day all her remaining light disappears completely. And in certain months the month has 29 days, and once it has 28. Uriel showed me another law as well, how light is transferred to the moon, and on which side the sun gives that light to her. Throughout the whole period in which the moon is growing in brightness, she receives that light from the sun while standing opposite it. And for 14 days her light is brought to fullness in the heavens. When she is entirely illumined, her brightness is complete in the sky. On the first day she is called the new moon, because on that day light first rises upon her, and she becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west. Then from the east she rises during the night, and the moon shines throughout the whole night until the sun rises opposite her, and the moon is seen directly across from the sun. And on the side from which the light of the moon comes forth, from there again she begins to wane, until all her light vanishes and the days of the month come to an end, and her disk is left empty, void of light. For 3 months she makes 30 days each, and in her appointed time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she completes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first portal for 177 days. And in the time of her going out she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months of 29 days each. By night she appears like a man for 20 days at a time, and by day she appears like the heavens, for there is nothing else in her except her light. And now, my son, I have shown you everything. The law of all the stars of heaven is complete. And he showed me all their laws for every day, every season of rule, every year, every going forth, every order appointed for every month and every week. He showed me the waning of the moon which takes place in the 6th portal, for in that 6th portal her light is brought to completion, and after that the waning begins. And the waning takes place in the 1st portal in its appointed season, until 177 days are completed, reckoned according to weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. Thus she falls behind the sun and the order of the stars by exactly 5 days in the course of one period. And when this place which you now see has been traversed, such is the picture and the pattern of every luminary which Uriel the archangel, their leader, showed to me. And in those days the angel Uriel answered me and said, Behold, Enoch, I have shown you everything, and I have revealed all these things to you so that you might see this sun, this moon, the leaders of the stars of heaven, and all those who direct them in their tasks, their times, and their departures. And in the days of sinners the years shall be shortened, their seed shall be slow in growing upon their lands and fields. All things upon the earth shall be altered, and shall not appear in their proper time. The rain shall be withheld, and the heaven shall hold it back. In those times the fruits of the earth shall be delayed, and shall not grow in their season. The fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their appointed time. And the moon shall alter her order, and not appear in her season. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and shall journey in the evening upon the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the appointed order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed to them. These shall alter their orbits and their tasks, and they shall not appear at the times appointed for them. And the whole order of the stars shall be hidden from sinners, and the thoughts of those upon the earth shall go astray concerning them. They shall be perverted in all their ways. Yes, they shall err and take them for gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them to destroy them all. And he said to me, Observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written upon them, and mark every single matter. So I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything written upon them. I understood all things, and I read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children of flesh that shall be upon the earth, for the remotest generations. Then at once I blessed the great Lord, the King of glory forever, because he had made all the works of the world. And I exalted the Lord because of his patience, and I blessed him because of the children of men. After that I said, Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom no record of unrighteousness is written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me upon the earth before the door of my house, and they said to me, Declare everything to your son Methuselah, and show all your children that no flesh is righteous before the Lord, for he is their creator. For 1 year we will leave you with your son, until you give your final commands, so that you may teach your children, write it down for them, and testify to them all. But in the 2nd year they shall take you from their midst. Let your heart be strong, for the good shall proclaim righteousness to the good. The righteous shall rejoice with the righteous, and shall greet one another with joy. But sinners shall die with sinners, and the apostate shall go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die because of the deeds of men, and shall be taken away because of the works of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me. And I came to my people, blessing the Lord of the world. And now, my son Methuselah, I recount all these things to you and write them down for you. I have revealed everything to you, and have given you books concerning all these matters. So preserve, my son Methuselah, the books from your father's hand, and see that you deliver them to the generations of the world. I have given wisdom to you, and to your children, and to your children's children who shall come after you, so that they may pass it on to their children for all generations, this wisdom that surpasses human thought. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall incline their ear that they may learn this wisdom. And it shall please those who partake of it more than good food. Blessed are all the righteous. Blessed are all who walk in the path of righteousness, and do not sin, as sinners do, in the reckoning of all their days. For the sun traverses heaven, entering and departing through the portals for 30 days, together with the heads of thousands of the order of the stars, along with the 4 intercalary days, which divide the 4 parts of the year, lead them, and enter with them. Because of these 4 days men go astray, and do not reckon them in the whole calculation of the year. Yes, men shall go astray, and fail to recognize them accurately. For they belong to the reckoning of the year, and are truly recorded forever. 1 in the 1st portal, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 6th. And the year is completed in 364 days. And the account of it is accurate, and the recorded reckoning exact. For the luminaries, the months, the festivals, the years, and the days these Uriel has shown and revealed to me, he whom the Lord of all creation in the world has appointed over the host of heaven. And he has authority over night and day in heaven, to cause the light to shine upon men, the sun, moon, stars, and all the powers of heaven which revolve in their circular chariots. And these are the orders of the stars which set in their places, in their seasons, in their festivals, and in their months. And these are the names of those who lead them, who watch that they enter at their appointed times, in their orders, in their seasons, in their months, in their periods of dominion, and in their positions. Thus the leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year enter first. After them come the 12 leaders of the orders who divide the months. And over the 360 days are heads over thousands who divide the days. And for the 4 intercalary days there are leaders appointed to divide the 4 parts of the year. And these heads over thousands are interposed between one leader and another, each standing behind its appointed station, and their leaders make the divisions. And these are the names of the leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year, which have been ordained: Melchiel, Helamelech, Melejal, and Narel. And the names of those who lead under them are Adnarel, Easusael, and Elamiel. These 3 follow the leaders of the orders, and there is one more that follows the 3 leaders of the orders, those who follow the leaders of the stations that divide the 4 parts of the year. At the beginning of the year, Melejal rises first and rules. He is also called Tamaini, and all the days of his dominion are 91 days. And these are the signs of the days that are seen upon the earth during the time of his rule: sweat, heat, and calm. All the trees bear fruit, leaves spring forth on every tree, the wheat harvest comes, the rose flowers bloom, and all the flowers of the field come forth. But the trees of the winter season wither away. And these are the names of the leaders under them: Beral, Zelebsael, and another who is added as head over 1,000, called Heloyaseph. And the days of the dominion of that leader come to an end. After him rises the next leader, Helamelech, whom some call the shining sun, and all the days of his light are 91 days. And these are the signs of his days upon the earth: glowing heat and dryness. The trees ripen their fruit, and bring forth all their produce fully ripe and ready. The sheep mate and become pregnant. All the fruits of the earth are gathered in, and everything in the fields and in the winepress is brought to completion. These things take place in the days of his dominion. And these are the names, the orders, and the leaders of those heads of thousands: Gedael, Kael, and Hael. And the name of the head of 1,000 who is added to them is Asphael. And the days of his dominion are completed. Now, my son Methuselah, I will show you all my visions which I have seen, and I will recount them before you. 2 visions I saw before I took a wife, and the one was utterly unlike the other. The first when I was learning to write, and the second before I took your mother. And when I saw that terrible vision, I prayed concerning it to the Lord. I had lain down in the house of my grandfather Mahalalel, and in a vision I saw the heavens collapse. They were torn away and fell upon the earth. And when they fell upon the earth, I saw the earth swallowed up in a great abyss. Mountains were piled upon mountains, hills sank down upon hills, and lofty trees were torn out from their roots, hurled down, and cast into the abyss. Then words fell into my mouth, and I lifted up my voice to cry aloud, saying, "The earth is destroyed." And my grandfather Mahalalel awoke me, for I lay near him, and he said to me, "Why do you cry out so, my son? Why do you make such lamentation?" And I recounted to him the whole vision I had seen. Then he said to me, "A terrible thing you have seen, my son, and grave is the meaning of your dream vision. It concerns the secrets of all the sin of the earth. The earth must sink into the abyss and be destroyed with a great destruction. Now therefore, my son, arise and make your petition to the Lord of glory, since you are a man of faith, that a remnant may remain upon the earth, and that he may not destroy the whole earth. My son, from heaven all this shall come upon the earth, and upon the earth there shall be great destruction." After that I rose, and I prayed and implored and made supplication. And I wrote down my prayer for the generations of the world, and I will show all these things to you, my son Methuselah. And when I had gone out below and seen the heaven, and the sun rising in the east, and the moon setting in the west, and a few stars, and all the earth, and everything as he had known it from the beginning, then I blessed the Lord of judgment, and exalted him, because he had caused the sun to go forth from the windows of the east. And it ascended and rose upon the face of heaven, and set out and kept traversing the path appointed for it. And I lifted up my hands in righteousness, and I blessed the Holy and Great One. I spoke with the breath of my mouth, and with the tongue of flesh, which God has made for the children of men, that they should speak with it. He gave them breath and a tongue and a mouth, that they might speak. And I said, "Blessed are you, O Lord, King, great and mighty in your greatness, Lord of the whole creation of heaven, King of kings, and God of the whole world. Your power, your kingship, and your greatness endure forever and ever. Through all generations your dominion stands. All the heavens are your throne forever, and the whole earth is your footstool forever and ever. For you have made all things, and you rule all things, and nothing is too hard for you. Wisdom never departs from the place of your throne, nor turns away from your presence. You know, you see, and you hear all things, and nothing is hidden from you. For you behold everything, and now the angels of your heaven are guilty of transgression, and upon the flesh of men your wrath abides, until the great day of judgment. And now, O God, O Lord, O great King, I implore and beseech you, fulfill my prayer. Leave me a posterity upon the earth, and do not destroy all the flesh of man, and make the earth without inhabitant, so that there should be an everlasting destruction. And now, my Lord, destroy from the earth the flesh that has provoked your wrath, but establish the flesh of righteousness and uprightness, as the plant of an eternal seed, and hide not your face from the prayer of your servant, O Lord. After this I saw another dream, and I will show you the whole dream, my son. And Enoch lifted up his voice and spoke to his son Methuselah. To you, my son, I will speak. Hear my words, and incline your ear to the dream vision of your father. Before I took your mother Edna, I saw in a vision upon my bed, and behold, a bull came forth from the earth, and that bull was white. And after it came forth, a heifer came forth. And along with this one there came forth two bulls, one of them black and the other red. And that black bull gored the red one, and pursued him over the earth. And after that, I could no longer see that red bull. But the black bull grew, and the heifer went with him. And I saw that many oxen came forth from him, and they resembled him and followed him. And that cow, the first one, departed from the presence of that first bull in order to seek that red one, but she did not find him. And she lamented over him with a great lamentation, and sought him continually. And I looked until that first bull came to her and quieted her, and from that time onward she cried no more. After that she bore another white bull, and after him she bore many bulls and black cows. And I saw in my sleep that white bull likewise grow, and become a great white bull. And from him there came many white bulls, and they resembled him. And they began to beget many white bulls that resembled them, one after another, even many. And again I looked with my eyes as I slept, and I saw heaven above. And behold, a star fell from heaven, and it arose and fed and pastured among those oxen. After that I saw the large and the black oxen, and behold, they all changed their stalls and their pastures and their cattle, and began to live mingled with one another. And again I looked in the vision toward heaven, and behold, I saw many stars descend and cast themselves down from heaven to that first star. And they became bulls among those cattle and pastured with them. And I looked at them and saw that they all let out their privy members like horses, and began to cover the cows of the oxen. And they all became pregnant and bore elephants, camels, and asses. And all the oxen feared them, and were terrified by them. And they began to bite them with their teeth, and to devour them, and to gore them with their horns. Moreover, they began to devour those oxen. And behold, all the children of the earth began to tremble and quake before them, and to flee from them. And again I saw how they began to gore one another and devour one another. And the earth began to cry aloud. Then I raised my eyes again toward heaven, and I saw in the vision, and behold, there came forth from heaven beings who looked like white men. 4 came forth from that place, and 3 others with them. And those 3 who came out last took hold of me by the hand, and lifted me up away from the generations of the earth. They raised me to a high place, and showed me a tower built high above the earth, and all the hills were lower than it. And one of them said to me, "Remain here until you see everything that befalls those elephants and camels and asses, and the stars and the oxen, and all of them." And I saw one of those 4 who had come forth first, and he seized that first star which had fallen from heaven, and bound it hand and foot, and cast it into an abyss. Now that abyss was narrow and deep and horrible and dark. And one of them drew a sword, and gave it to those elephants and camels and asses, and they began to strike one another, and the whole earth shook because of them. And as I watched in the vision, behold, one of those 4 who had come forth hurled stones from heaven, and gathered together all the great stars whose privy members were like those of horses. And he bound them all hand and foot, and cast them into an abyss of the earth. And one of those 4 went to that white bull, and instructed him in a mystery, though he trembled not. And he was born a bull, yet became a man, and built for himself a great vessel, and dwelt upon it. And 3 bulls dwelt with him in that vessel, and they were covered in. And again I lifted up my eyes toward heaven, and saw a lofty roof with 7 torrents of water upon it, and those torrents poured out much water, and into an enclosure. Then I looked again, and behold, fountains were opened upon the surface of that great enclosure, and the waters began to rise and swell across its face. I watched until the whole surface of that enclosure was covered with water. Darkness and mist increased over it, and as I looked at the height of the flood, the waters rose above the enclosure itself, poured over its boundaries, and spread across the earth. And all the cattle of that enclosure were gathered together. Then I saw them sink, swallowed up and destroyed in those waters. But that vessel floated upon the flood, while all the oxen, the elephants, the camels, the asses, and all the beasts sank beneath it. I could see them no longer, for they were unable to escape. They perished and went down into the depths. Again I looked in the vision, until those torrents of water were removed from that high roof, and the chasms of the earth were closed up, while other abysses were opened. Then the waters began to pour down into them, until the earth became visible once more, and the vessel came to rest upon the earth. The darkness withdrew, and light appeared. Then that white bull, which had become a man, came out of the vessel, and the 3 bulls with him. One of those 3 was white like that bull, one was red as blood, and one was black, and that white bull departed from them. Then they began to bring forth beasts of the field and birds of the air, so that many kinds arose: lions, tigers, wolves, dogs, hyenas, wild boars, foxes, squirrels, swine, falcons, vultures, kites, eagles, and ravens. And among them a white bull was born. Then they began to bite and devour one another. But that white bull which had been born among them begot a wild ass, and beside it another white bull, and the wild asses multiplied. But that bull which had come from him begot a black wild boar and a white sheep. The former begot many boars, but the sheep begot 12 sheep. And when those 12 sheep had grown, they gave one of their number over to the asses. And the asses in turn gave that sheep over to the wolves, and that sheep grew up among the wolves. Then the Lord of the sheep brought the other 11 sheep to live with it, and to pasture beside it among the wolves. And they multiplied and became many flocks of sheep. And the wolves began to fear them, yet they still oppressed them and destroyed their little ones, casting their young into a river of much water. Then those sheep cried out because of their little ones, and made their complaint before their Lord. And one sheep, which had been saved from the wolves, fled and escaped to the wild asses. And I saw the sheep how they lamented and cried and pleaded with all their strength before their Lord, until the Lord of the sheep descended at the voice of the sheep from his lofty dwelling, and came to them and pastured them. Then he called that sheep which had escaped from the wolves, and spoke with it concerning the wolves, that it should warn them not to touch the sheep. And that sheep went to the wolves according to the word of the Lord. Another sheep met it and went with it, and the two entered together into the assembly of the wolves. There they spoke to them, and warned them that from that time on they were not to touch the sheep. But after that I saw the wolves oppressing the sheep all the more, with all their strength and fury, and the sheep cried aloud. Then the Lord came to the sheep, and the sheep began to strike those wolves, and the wolves began to wail, but the sheep grew quiet, and ceased from their crying. And I watched until the sheep departed from among the wolves. But the eyes of the wolves were blinded, and those wolves went out pursuing the sheep with all their power. And the Lord of the sheep went before them as their leader, and all his sheep followed him. His face was dazzling, glorious, and terrible to behold. Then the wolves pursued those sheep until they came to a sea of water, and that sea was divided. The waters stood up on this side and on that, before their face. And their Lord led them, and stood between them and the wolves. And because the wolves had not yet seen the sheep, they entered into the midst of that sea. The wolves followed after them, and ran into the sea behind them. But when they saw the Lord of the sheep, they turned to flee from before his face. Then the sea gathered itself together again, and returned to its former state. The waters swelled and rose until they covered those wolves. And I watched until all the wolves that had pursued the sheep perished and were drowned. But the sheep escaped from that water, and went out into a wilderness, where there was no water and no grass. There they began to open their eyes and to see. And I saw the Lord of the sheep pasturing them, and giving them water and grass. And that sheep went before them and led them. Then that sheep ascended to the summit of a lofty rock, and the Lord of the sheep sent it to them. After that I saw the Lord of the sheep standing before them. His appearance was great and terrible and majestic, and all those sheep saw him and were afraid before his face. They all feared and trembled because of him, and they cried to the sheep that was among them, "We are not able to stand before our Lord, nor are we able to behold him." Then that sheep which led them went up again to the summit of the rock. But the sheep began to grow blind and to wander from the path which it had shown them, though that sheep did not know it. And the Lord of the sheep was exceedingly wrathful against them. And that sheep discovered it, and came down from the summit of the rock, and went to the sheep, and found the greater part of them blinded and turned aside. And when they saw it, they feared and trembled before its presence, and desired to return to their folds. Then that sheep took other sheep with it, and came to those sheep that had gone astray, and it began to slay them. And the sheep feared its presence. Thus that sheep brought back those sheep which had strayed, and they returned to their folds. And I saw in this vision that that sheep became a man, and built a house for the Lord of the sheep, and gathered all the sheep into that house. And I saw that the sheep which had met the sheep that led them fell asleep. And I saw all the great sheep perish, and little ones arose in their place. They came to a pasture, and approached a stream of water. Then that sheep, their leader, which had become a man, withdrew from them, and fell asleep. And all the sheep sought it, and cried over it with a great crying. And I watched until they ceased from crying for that sheep, and crossed the stream of water. Then there arose 2 sheep as leaders in the place of those who had led them, and fallen asleep. And I saw until the sheep came to a pleasant place, a glorious and beautiful land. And I saw those sheep satisfied, and that house standing among them in the beautiful land. At times their eyes were opened, and at times they were blinded, until another sheep arose and led them and brought them all back, and their eyes were opened. Then the dogs and the foxes and the wild boars began to devour those sheep, until the Lord of the sheep raised up another sheep from among them, a ram which led them. And that ram began to strike on every side those dogs, foxes, and wild boars, until it had destroyed them all. Then that sheep, whose eyes had been opened, saw that ram among the sheep forsake its glory. It began to strike the sheep, trample them, and behave with violence and shame. And the Lord of the sheep sent a lamb to another lamb, and raised it up to be a ram and leader of the sheep, in place of that ram which had forsaken its glory. And it went to it and spoke with it alone, and raised it up to be a ram, making it prince and leader of the sheep. But during all these things, the dogs oppressed the sheep. And the first ram pursued that second ram, but the second ram arose and fled before it. And I saw until those dogs pulled down the first ram, and the second ram rose up and led the little sheep. And those sheep grew and multiplied. But all the dogs and foxes and wild boars feared it and fled before it. And that ram struck and killed the wild beasts, and from then on the wild beasts had no more power over the sheep, nor did they rob them any more. And that ram begot many sheep and then fell asleep. And a little sheep became a ram in its place, becoming prince and leader of those sheep. And that house became great and broad, and it was built for those sheep. And a lofty and great tower was built upon that house for the Lord of the sheep. That house was lowly, but the tower rose high and exalted. And the Lord of the sheep stood upon that tower, and they spread a full table before him. Again I saw those sheep err, and go many ways, and forsake their house. Then the Lord of the sheep called some from among the sheep, and sent them to the sheep, but the sheep began to kill them. And one of them was saved and was not slain. It fled away and cried aloud over the sheep. They sought to kill it, but the Lord of the sheep rescued it from the sheep, and brought it up to me and caused it to dwell there. And many other sheep he sent to those sheep, to testify against them, and to lament over them. After that I saw that when they had forsaken the house of the Lord and his tower, they fell away completely, and their eyes were blinded. And I saw how the Lord of the sheep brought much slaughter upon them in their flocks, until those sheep themselves invited that slaughter, and betrayed his place. And he gave them over into the hands of lions and tigers and wolves and hyenas, into the hands of foxes and all the wild beasts. And those wild beasts began to tear the sheep in pieces. Then I saw that he abandoned their house and their tower, and delivered them all into the hands of the lions, to be torn and devoured, and into the hands of all the wild beasts. Then I cried aloud with all my strength, and made my appeal to the Lord of the sheep, pleading with him concerning the sheep, because they were being devoured by all the wild beasts. But he remained unmoved, though he saw it. And he rejoiced that they were devoured and swallowed up and plundered, and he left them to be consumed by the hand of every beast. Then he called 70 shepherds and delivered the sheep over to them, that they might pasture them. And he spoke to the shepherds and to their companions, "Let each one of you pasture the sheep from this time forward, and do whatever I command you. I will hand them over to you in exact number, and I will tell you which of them are to be destroyed. Those you shall destroy." And he gave those sheep into their hands. Then he called another and said to him, "Observe and mark everything that the shepherds do to those sheep, for they will destroy more of them than I have commanded them. Record every excess, every destruction that shall be wrought by the shepherds. Write down how many they destroy according to my command, and how many they destroy according to their own will. Record against each individual shepherd all the destruction he brings about, and read it before me in number how many they destroy, and how many they hand over for destruction, that I may have this as a testimony against them, and that I may know every deed of the shepherds, whether they have obeyed or disobeyed what I commanded them. But they shall not know this. You shall not reveal it to them, nor warn them, but only record against each one all the destruction the shepherds carry out, each in his own time, and lay it all before me." And I watched as those shepherds pastured in their appointed season, and they began to slay and destroy more than they had been commanded. And they delivered those sheep into the hand of the lions. And the lions and tigers ate and devoured the greater part of those sheep. The wild boars also fed upon them. Then they burned that tower and tore down that house. And I was overcome with grief because of that tower, for the house of the sheep had been destroyed. Afterward I could no longer see whether those sheep ever entered that house again. And the shepherds and their companions handed those sheep over to all the wild beasts to be devoured. Each one of them received in his appointed time a certain number, and another wrote down in a book how many each one destroyed. Yet each of them slew and destroyed far more than had been prescribed. Then I began to weep and lament because of those sheep. And thus in the vision I saw that one who wrote how he recorded every single one that had been destroyed by those shepherds, day by day. And he carried that record up and laid it before the Lord of the sheep, showing him the whole book, everything they had done, everything each of them had swept away, and all that they had delivered over to destruction. And the book was read before the Lord of the sheep. Then he took the book from his hand, read it, sealed it, and laid it down. And immediately after this I saw how the shepherds pastured for 12 hours, and behold, 3 of those sheep turned back. They came and entered, and began to rebuild all that had fallen from that house. But the wild boars tried to stop them, though they were not able. So they began once more to build as before. And they raised up that tower, and it was called the High Tower. Again they placed a table before the tower, but all the bread upon it was defiled and unclean. And concerning all this, the eyes of those sheep were blinded so that they could not see, and the eyes of their shepherds likewise. So they delivered them in great numbers to their shepherds for destruction, and they trampled the sheep underfoot and devoured them. And the Lord of the sheep remained still until all the sheep were scattered across the field and mingled with the beasts. And the shepherds did not save them out of the hand of the beasts. Then that one who had written the book carried it up and showed it and read it before the Lord of the sheep, and he pleaded for them and made supplication for them, while he showed him all the deeds of the shepherds and testified before him against every one of them. Then he took the book and laid it beside him and departed. And I saw that in this manner 35 shepherds undertook the pasturing of the sheep, and each in turn completed his period, just as the first had done. Then others received them into their hands, each shepherd in his own appointed season. After that I saw in my vision all the birds of heaven coming, the eagles, the vultures, the kites, and the ravens. But the eagles led all the birds, and they began to devour those sheep, to tear out their eyes, and to consume their flesh. And the sheep cried out, because their flesh was being devoured by the birds. As for me, I looked on and lamented in my sleep over that shepherd who was pasturing the sheep. And I watched until those sheep were devoured by the dogs and by the eagles and the kites, and they left neither flesh nor skin nor sinew upon them, until only their bones remained. And even their bones fell to the earth, and the sheep became few. And I saw until 23 had undertaken the pasturing, and completed in their several periods 58 times. Then behold, lambs were born from those white sheep, and they began to open their eyes and see and cry out to the sheep. Yes, they cried to them, but the sheep would not listen to what they said. They were exceedingly deaf, and their eyes were terribly blinded. And I saw in the vision how the ravens flew down upon those lambs, and seized one of them, and dashed the sheep to pieces and devoured them. And I watched until horns grew upon those lambs, and the ravens cast down their horns. Then I saw until a great horn sprang up on one of those sheep, and their eyes were opened. It looked upon them, and their eyes were opened, and it cried out to the sheep, and the rams saw it, and all ran to it. Yet in spite of all this, those eagles and vultures and ravens and kites still kept tearing the sheep, swooping down upon them and devouring them. And still the sheep remained silent, but the rams lamented and cried out. Then those ravens fought and battled with that horned ram, seeking to break its horn, but they had no power over it. And I saw until the shepherds and the eagles and those vultures and kites came, and they cried to the ravens that they should break the horn of that ram. And they all fought and made war with it, and it fought with them, and cried out that help might come to it. Then I saw until that man who wrote down the names of the shepherds and carried them up into the presence of the Lord of the sheep came and helped that ram. He showed it everything, and he came down to help it. And I saw until the Lord of the sheep came to them in wrath, and all who saw him fled, and they all fell into darkness before his face. All the eagles and vultures and ravens and kites gathered together, and with them came all the sheep of the field. Yes, they all came together and joined one another to break the horn of that ram. And I saw that man who wrote the book according to the command of the Lord, until he opened that book concerning the destruction which the 12 last shepherds had carried out, and showed that they had destroyed far more than those who came before them, in the presence of the Lord of the sheep. Then I saw until the Lord of the sheep came to them, and took in his hand the staff of his wrath, and struck the earth. And the earth split apart, and all the beasts and all the birds of heaven fell away from among those sheep, and the earth swallowed them up and covered them. Then I saw until a great sword was given to the sheep, and the sheep went out against all the beasts of the field to slay them. And all the beasts and the birds of heaven fled before their face. Then I saw until a throne was set up in the pleasant land, and the Lord of the sheep sat upon it. And the other took the sealed books, and opened them before the Lord of the sheep. And the Lord called those men the 7 first white ones, and commanded them to bring before him, beginning with the first star that had led the way, all the stars whose privy members were like those of horses. And they brought them all before him. Then he said to that man who wrote before him, being one of the 7 white ones, "Take those 70 shepherds, to whom I entrusted the sheep, and who, taking them by their own authority, slew more of them than I commanded. And behold, I saw them all bound, and they all stood before him. And judgment was first held over the stars. They were judged and found guilty, and they went to the place of condemnation. And they were cast into an abyss full of fire and flame, full of pillars of fire. And those 70 shepherds were judged and found guilty, and they too were cast into that fiery abyss. And I saw at that time how another abyss, like it, was opened in the midst of the earth, full of fire. And they brought those blinded sheep, and they too were judged and found guilty and cast into that fiery abyss, and they burned there. Now that abyss was on the right side of that house. And I saw those sheep burning, and their bones burning. Then I stood up to watch until they folded up that old house. All its pillars were taken away, and all the beams and ornaments of the house were folded up with it. They carried it away, and laid it in a place in the south of the land. Then I saw until the Lord of the sheep brought a new house, greater and loftier than the first, and set it up in the place of the former house that had been folded up. All its pillars were new. Its ornaments were new, and they were greater than those of the first house, the old one which he had removed. And all the sheep were within it. And I saw all the sheep that had been left, and all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of heaven, falling down and doing homage to those sheep. They made petition to them, and obeyed them in all things. And afterward those 3 who were clothed in white, those who had taken hold of me by my hand, and lifted me up before, and with them also the hand of that ram taking hold of me, they lifted me up and placed me in the midst of those sheep, before the judgment took place. And those sheep were all white, and their wool was abundant and clean. And all that had been destroyed and scattered, and all the beasts of the field and all the birds of heaven, were gathered in that house. And the Lord of the sheep rejoiced with great joy, because they were all good, and had returned to his house. And I saw until they laid down that sword which had been given to the sheep, and they brought it back into the house, and it was sealed before the presence of the Lord. And all the sheep were invited into that house, but it could not contain them. And the eyes of them all were opened, and they saw what is good, and there was not one among them that did not see. And I saw that a white bull was born, one with great horns. And all the beasts of the field and all the birds of the air feared him, and made petition to him continually. And I saw until all their generations were transformed, and they all became white bulls. And the first among them became a lamb, and that lamb became a great beast, and it had great black horns upon its head. And the Lord of the sheep rejoiced over it, and over all the oxen. Then I slept in their midst, and I awoke and saw everything. This is the vision which I saw while I slept. And when I awoke, I blessed the Lord of righteousness and gave him glory. Then I wept with great weeping, and my tears would not cease until I could bear it no longer. They flowed because of what I had seen, for all shall come to pass and be fulfilled. Every deed of mankind, in its order, had been shown to me. That night I remembered the first dream, and because of it I wept and was troubled, because I had seen that vision. And now, my son Methuselah, call to me all your brothers, and gather to me all the sons of your mother, for the word calls me and the Spirit is poured out upon me, that I may show you everything that shall befall you forever. Then Methuselah went and summoned all his brothers and gathered together his relatives. And Enoch spoke to all the children of righteousness and said, Hear, you sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and listen rightly to the voice of my mouth. For I exhort you and say to you, beloved ones, love uprightness and walk in it. Do not draw near to uprightness with a divided heart, and do not join yourselves to those of a double heart. But walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on good paths, and righteousness shall be your companion. For I know that violence will increase upon the earth, and a great chastisement shall be executed upon the earth. All unrighteousness shall come to an end. Yes, it shall be cut off from its roots, and its whole structure shall be destroyed. And again unrighteousness shall be consummated upon the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and violence and transgression shall prevail in a twofold measure. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence increase in every kind of deed, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, then a great chastisement shall come from heaven upon them all. And the Holy Lord shall come forth in wrath and judgment to execute judgment upon the earth. In those days violence shall be cut off from its roots, and the roots of unrighteousness, together with deceit, shall be destroyed from beneath heaven. All the idols of the nations shall be abandoned. Their temples shall be burned with fire. They shall be swept from the face of the earth, and the nations themselves shall be cast into the judgment of fire. There they shall perish in wrath and in grievous judgment forever. Then the righteous shall awake from their sleep. Wisdom shall arise and be given to them. After that, the roots of unrighteousness shall be cut off. Sinners shall be destroyed by the sword, and blasphemers shall be cut down in every place. Those who devise violence and those who speak blasphemy shall perish by the sword. And after that there shall come another week, the 8th week, the week of righteousness. A sword shall be given to it, so that righteous judgment may be executed upon the oppressors, and sinners shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous. And at its close the righteous shall acquire houses through their righteousness, and a house shall be built for the great King in glory forevermore. And all mankind shall look to the path of uprightness. And after that, in the 9th week, righteous judgment shall be revealed to the whole world. All the works of the godless shall vanish from the whole earth, and the world shall be written down for destruction. And after this, in the 10th week, in its 7th part, there shall be the great eternal judgment, in which he will execute vengeance among the angels. Then the first heaven shall depart and pass away, and a new heaven shall appear, and all the powers of heaven shall shine with sevenfold light. And after that there shall be many weeks without number, forever, and all shall be in goodness and righteousness, and sin shall no more be named forever. And now, my sons, I tell you and show you the paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. Yes, I show them to you again, so that you may know what is to come. Now therefore listen to me, my sons. Walk in the paths of righteousness, and do not walk in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the ways of unrighteousness shall perish forever. This is the book written by Enoch, who wrote out this complete doctrine of wisdom, praised among men, and judge of all the earth, for all my children who shall dwell upon the earth, and for the generations to come who shall keep uprightness and peace. Let not your spirit be troubled because of the times, for the Holy and Great One has appointed days for all things. And the righteous one shall arise from sleep, shall rise and walk in the ways of righteousness, and all his path and conduct shall be in eternal goodness and grace. He shall show favor to the righteous, and grant him everlasting uprightness. He shall give him power, so that he may be clothed in goodness and righteousness, and he shall walk in eternal light. And sin shall perish in darkness forever, and shall never again be seen from that day onward. And after this, Enoch both gave instruction, and began to recount from the books. And Enoch said, "Concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of uprightness, I will speak these things. Yes, I, Enoch, will declare them to you, my sons, according to what appeared to me in the heavenly vision, and according to what I have learned through the word of the holy angels, and understood from the heavenly tablets." And Enoch began to recount from the books and said, "I was born the 7th in the 1st week, while judgment and righteousness still endured. And after me there shall arise in the 2nd week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up, and in it there shall be the first end. And in it a man shall be saved, and after it is ended, unrighteousness shall increase, and a law shall be made for sinners. And after that, in the 3rd week, at its close, a man shall be chosen as the plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. And after that, in the 4th week, at its close, visions of the holy and the righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and an enclosure shall be made for them. And after that, in the 5th week, at its close, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall forsake wisdom and become godless. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burned with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be scattered. And after that, in the 7th week, there shall arise an apostate generation, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its close shall be chosen the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive 7-fold instruction concerning all his creation. For who is there among all the children of men who can hear the voice of the Holy One and not be shaken? Who can grasp his thoughts? Who is there who can behold all the works of heaven? How could there be one who could look upon heaven and understand the things of heaven, who could see a soul or a spirit and speak of it, or ascend and behold all their ends, or think like them, or do as they do? And who among all men could know the breadth and the length of the earth? To whom has the measure of all these things been shown? Or is there anyone who can discern the length of heaven, how great its height is, upon what it is founded, how great is the number of the stars, and where all the luminaries find their rest? And now I say to you, my sons, love righteousness and walk in it, for the paths of righteousness are worthy to be embraced. But the paths of unrighteousness shall suddenly perish and vanish. And to certain men of a future generation the paths of violence and of death shall be revealed, and they shall keep themselves far from them and shall not follow them. And now I say to you, the righteous, do not walk in the paths of wickedness, nor in the ways of death. Do not draw near to them, lest you be destroyed. But seek for yourselves righteousness and a chosen life. Walk in the ways of peace, and you shall live and prosper. Hold fast my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and do not let them be erased from your hearts. For I know that sinners will tempt men to mistreat wisdom, so that no place may be found for her, and every kind of temptation may multiply. Woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression, and lay deceit as a foundation, for they shall be suddenly overthrown, and they shall have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for from all their foundations they shall be torn down, and by the sword they shall fall. And those who acquire gold and silver through injustice shall suddenly perish. Woe to you, you rich, for you have trusted in your riches. From your riches you shall depart, because you did not remember the Most High in the days of your wealth. You have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and have made yourselves ready for the day of slaughter, for the day of darkness, and for the day of the great judgment. Thus I speak and declare to you, he who created you will cast you down. For your fall there shall be no compassion, and your Creator will rejoice at your destruction. And your righteous ones in those days shall be a reproach to the sinners and to the godless. Oh, that my eyes were a cloud of waters, that I might weep over you, and pour out my tears like a storm of rain, that I might find rest from the anguish of my heart. Who has allowed you to practice mockery and wickedness? Therefore judgment shall overtake you, O sinners. Do not fear the sinners, you righteous, For once again the Lord will deliver them into your hands, that you may execute judgment upon them according to your desire. Woe to you who utter curses that cannot be reversed, for healing shall be far from you because of your sins. Woe to you who repay your neighbor with evil, for you shall be repaid according to your works. Woe to you, lying witnesses, and to those who measure out injustice, for suddenly you shall perish. Woe to you, sinners, for you persecute the righteous. Therefore you shall be delivered up and persecuted because of injustice, and heavy shall its yoke be upon you. Take courage, you righteous, for suddenly the sinners shall perish before you, and you shall have dominion over them according to your desire. And in the day of the tribulation of sinners, your children shall mount up and rise like eagles, and your nest shall be higher than that of the vultures. You shall ascend and enter into the clefts of the earth, and the crevices of the rock forever, like conies before the unrighteous. And the sirens shall sigh because of you, and weep. Therefore do not fear, you who have suffered, for healing shall be your portion. A bright light shall shine upon you, and the voice of rest you shall hear from heaven. Woe to you, sinners, for your riches make you seem righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners. This fact shall stand as a testimony against you, as a memorial of your evil deeds. Woe to you who consume the finest wheat and drink wine from great bowls, and with your power trample the lowly underfoot. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for suddenly you shall be consumed and wither away, because you have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who practice unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be remembered against you for evil. Woe to you, you mighty ones, who with strength oppress the righteous, for the day of your destruction is drawing near. In those days many good days shall come to the righteous in the day of your judgment. Believe, you righteous, that sinners shall become ashamed and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Let it be known to you, sinners, that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over your ruin. What will you do, O sinners, and where will you flee in that day of judgment, when you hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? Yes, you shall fare like those against whom this word shall stand as a testimony. You have been companions of sinners. And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall rise to the Lord, and for you the days of your judgment shall come, and all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read aloud before the great Holy One, and your faces shall be covered with shame, and he will reject every work that is founded on unrighteousness. Woe to you, sinners, who live in the midst of the sea and upon the dry land, whose memory is evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold through unrighteousness and say, we have become rich with wealth, we have gained possessions, and we have acquired everything we desired. We have desired, and now let us do all that we have purposed. For we have gathered silver, and many are the laborers in our houses, and our storehouses overflow like water. Yet like water your lies shall flow away. For your riches shall not remain with you, but shall quickly depart from you, because you acquired them all through unrighteousness. Therefore you shall be given over to a great curse. And now I swear to you, both the wise and the foolish, for you shall have many experiences upon the earth. For men shall clothe themselves in more adornment than women, and in colored garments more splendid than a virgin in royalty. In grandeur and in power, in silver and in gold, in purple and in glory, and in food, they shall be poured out like water. Therefore they shall lack wisdom and sound instruction, and because of this they shall perish together with their possessions, together with all their glory and splendor. And in shame, in slaughter, and in great misery, their spirits shall be cast into the furnace of fire. I have sworn unto you, O sinners, just as a mountain has never become a slave, nor a hill the handmaid of a woman, so sin was not sent upon the earth from the beginning. Rather, man himself created it, and great is the curse that shall fall upon those who commit it. And barrenness was not given to woman, but because of the works of her own hands she dies without children. I have sworn unto you, O sinners, by the Holy and Great One, that all your evil deeds are revealed in the heavens, and that none of your acts of oppression are covered or hidden. Do not say in your spirit and do not think in your heart, we do not know, or we do not see. For every sin is every day recorded in heaven, in the presence of the Most High. From this time on, know this: every act of oppression by which you oppress is written down daily until the day of your judgment. Woe to you, you fools, for through your folly you shall perish. You have transgressed against the wise, and therefore no good shall be your portion. And now know this: you are prepared for the day of destruction. Therefore do not hope to live, O sinners, but you shall depart and die. For you know of no ransom, because you are prepared for the day of the great judgment, for the day of tribulation and great shame for your spirits. Woe to you, you hard-hearted ones, who work wickedness and consume blood. Why do you have good things to eat and drink, and fill yourselves with all the good things which the Lord, the Most High, has placed in abundance upon the earth? Therefore you shall have no peace. Woe to you who love the works of unrighteousness. Why do you hope for good things for yourselves? Know that you shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous, and they shall cut off your necks and slay you, and they shall have no mercy upon you. Woe to you who rejoice in the tribulation of the righteous, for no grave shall be dug for you. Woe to you who set aside the words of the righteous, for you shall have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and godless words, for they record their falsehoods, so that men may hear them and act wickedly against their neighbors. Therefore they shall have no peace, but shall die a sudden death. Woe to you who practice godlessness, who glorify lies and exalt them. You shall perish, and no blessed life shall be yours. Woe to those who pervert the words of uprightness and transgress the eternal law, transforming themselves into what they were not, into sinners. They shall be trampled underfoot upon the earth. In those days, prepare yourselves, you righteous, to lift up your prayers as a memorial, and set them before the angels as a testimony, so that they may place the sins of sinners as a memorial before the Most High. In those days the nations shall be stirred up, and the families of the nations shall rise on the day of destruction. In those days the destitute shall go out and abandon their children. They shall cast them away, so that their children perish because of them. Yes, they shall abandon even their nursing infants and not return to them, and they shall have no pity on their beloved ones. Again I swear to you, O sinners, that sin is prepared for a day of unceasing bloodshed. And those who worship stones and carved images of gold and silver and wood and stone and clay, and those who worship impure spirits and demons and every kind of idol without understanding, shall receive no help from them. They shall become godless through the folly of their hearts, and their eyes shall be blinded through the fear of their hearts and through the visions of their dreams. Through these they shall become godless and fearful, for they have done all their works in falsehood and worshipped a stone. Therefore in an instant they shall perish. But in those days, blessed are all who receive the words of wisdom, understand them, observe the paths of the Most High, walk in the way of his righteousness, and do not become godless with the godless, for they shall be saved. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbors, for you shall be slain in Sheol. Woe to you who establish deceitful and false measures, and to those who cause bitterness upon the earth, for by these things you shall be utterly consumed. Woe to you who build your houses through the grievous labor of others, and all your building materials are bricks and stones of sin. I tell you, you shall have no peace. Woe to those who reject the measure and eternal inheritance of their fathers, and whose souls follow after idols, for they shall have no rest. Woe to those who work unrighteousness, support oppression, and slay their neighbors until the day of the great judgment. For he shall cast down your glory, bring affliction upon your hearts, stir up his fierce indignation, and destroy you all with the sword. And all the holy and righteous shall remember your sins. And in those days, in one place, fathers together with their sons shall be struck down, and brothers shall fall with one another in death, until the streams flow with their blood. For a man shall not withhold his hand from slaying his sons and his sons' sons, and the sinner shall not withhold his hand from his honored brother. From dawn until sunset they shall kill one another. The horse shall walk up to its breast in the blood of sinners, and the chariot shall sink to its height in blood. In those days angels shall descend into the secret places and gather together into one place all those who brought sin down. And the Most High will arise on that day of judgment to execute great judgment among sinners. And over all the righteous and holy he will appoint guardians from among the holy angels, to keep them as the apple of an eye, until he brings to an end all wickedness and all sin. And though the righteous sleep a long sleep, they have nothing to fear. Then the children of the earth shall see the wise in safety, and they shall understand all the words of this book. And they shall know that their riches will not be able to save them in the overthrow brought by their sins. Woe to you sinners! In the day of fierce anguish, you who afflict the righteous and burn them with fire, you shall be repaid according to your works. Woe to you, stubborn of heart, who stay awake to devise wickedness. Therefore fear shall come upon you, and there shall be no one to help you. Woe to you, sinners, because of the words of your mouth, and because of the deeds of your hands which your godlessness has produced. In blazing flames, in fire fiercer than any earthly fire, you shall burn. And now know this, from the angels he will inquire concerning your deeds in heaven, and from the sun and from the moon and from the stars concerning your sins, because upon the earth you have executed judgment against the righteous. And he will summon every cloud and mist and dew and rain to bear witness against you, for they shall all be withheld from descending upon you because of your sins. And now offer gifts to the rain, that it may not be withheld from descending upon you, nor the dew, when it has received your gold and silver, that it may descend. When the frost and the snow come with their chill, and all the snowstorms with all their plagues fall upon you, in those days you shall not be able to stand before them. Consider the heavens, you children of heaven, and every work of the Most High. Fear him, and do no evil before him. If he closes the windows of heaven, and withholds the rain and the dew from descending upon the earth because of your deeds, what then will you do? And if he sends his anger upon you because of your works, you will not be able to plead with him, for you have spoken proud and insolent words against his righteousness. Therefore you shall have no peace. Do you not see the sailors upon the ships, how their vessels are tossed by the waves and shaken by the winds, and how they are in bitter distress? Therefore they are afraid, because all their precious goods go upon the sea with them, and their hearts are filled with dread that the sea may swallow them, and they may perish in it. Is not the sea, and all its waters and all its movements, the work of the Most High? Has he not set bounds to its activity, and enclosed it on every side with sand? At his rebuke it is afraid and dries up, and all its fish die, and all that is in it. Yet you sinners who dwell upon the earth do not fear him. Has he not made the heaven and the earth and all that is in them? And who has given understanding and wisdom to everything that moves upon the earth and in the sea? Do not the sailors fear the sea? Yet sinners do not fear the Most High. And in those days, when he brings a grievous fire upon you, where will you flee, and where will you find deliverance? And when he lets loose his word against you, will you not be terrified and fear? All the luminaries shall be seized with great fear, and the whole earth shall be terrified and tremble and be alarmed. And all the angels shall carry out their commands, and seek to hide themselves from the presence of the great glory. And the children of the earth shall tremble and quake. But you sinners shall be cursed forever, and you shall have no peace. Do not fear, you souls of the righteous, and be hopeful, you who have died in righteousness. Do not grieve if your soul has gone down into Sheol in sorrow, and if in your life your body did not receive according to your goodness. Rather, wait for the day of the judgment of sinners, for the day of cursing and chastisement. For when you die, sinners say over you, "As we die, so die the righteous." And what benefit do they gain from their deeds? Behold, just as we die, so they die in grief and in darkness. What have they more than we? From now on we are equal. What shall they receive? What shall they see forever? Behold, they too are dead, and from now on forever they shall see no light. But I tell you, O sinners, you are content to eat and drink and rob and sin and strip men naked and acquire wealth and see many pleasant days. Have you seen how the end of the righteous turns out? No violence is found in them until their death. Yet they seem to perish and become as though they had never been. and their spirits went down into Sheol in tribulation. Now therefore I swear to you, the righteous, by the glory of the great and honored and mighty one in dominion, and by his greatness I swear to you, I know a mystery. I have read the heavenly tablets. I have seen the holy books. And I have found written and inscribed concerning them that all goodness and joy and glory are prepared for them, and written down for the spirits of those who have died in righteousness. And abundant good shall be given to you in return for your labors. And your portion shall be far greater than the portion of the living. And the spirits of you who have died in righteousness shall live and rejoice. Their spirits shall not perish, nor shall their memory vanish from before the face of the Great One through all the generations of the world. Therefore, fear no longer the scorn of the wicked. Woe to you, sinners, when you die in the wealth of your sins, and those who are like you say concerning you, Blessed are the sinners, for they have seen all their days fulfilled. They died in prosperity and in wealth. They saw no tribulation, no bloodshed in their lifetime. They died in honor, and judgment never came upon them while they lived. Know this, their souls shall be made to descend into Sheol, and there they shall be wretched in their great distress. Into darkness, into chains, and into a burning flame shall your spirits enter, where grievous judgment awaits. And that great judgment shall endure for all the generations of the world. Woe to you, for you shall have no peace. Do not say concerning the righteous and the good who are living, In our troubled days we have labored hard and endured every hardship. We have met much evil, we have been consumed, we have become few, and our spirits have grown small. We have been crushed and found no one to help us, not even with a word. We have been tortured and destroyed, and no longer hope to see life from day to day. We hoped to be the head, yet we have become the tail. We labored and found no satisfaction in our toil. We became food for sinners and for the unrighteous, and they laid their yoke heavily upon us. Those who hated us ruled over us and struck us, and to those who hated us we bowed our necks, but they had no pity on us. We desired to flee from them, that we might find rest, but we found no place where we could escape and be safe. In our distress we cried out to the rulers against those who devoured us, but they did not listen to our cry and would not hear our voice. They helped those who robbed us and consumed us, those who diminished us. They hid their oppression and did not remove from us the yoke of those who devoured us and scattered us and murdered us. They concealed their murders and did not remember that they had lifted up their hands against us. I swear to you, in heaven the angels remember you for good before the glory of the Great One, and your names are written before his glory. Be hopeful. Once you were put to shame through evil and affliction, but now you shall shine like the lights of heaven. You shall shine and be seen, and the gates of heaven shall be opened to you. And in your cry for judgment, justice shall appear for you, for all your suffering shall be visited upon the rulers and upon all who helped those who plundered you. Be hopeful, and do not cast away your hope, for great joy shall be yours, like the joy of the angels of heaven. What then shall you be required to do? You shall not have to hide on the day of the great judgment, nor shall you be found among sinners, and eternal judgment shall remain far from you through all generations of the world. And now, do not fear, you righteous, when you see sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways. Do not become their companions, but keep far from their violence, for you shall become companions of the hosts of heaven. And although you sinners say, none of our sins shall be searched out or written down, yet every day they write down all your sins. And now I show you that light and darkness, day and night, see all your sins. Do not be godless in your hearts. Do not lie. Do not alter the words of uprightness. Do not accuse the words of the Holy and Great One of being false. Do not honor your idols, for all your lying and all your godlessness lead not to righteousness, but to great sin. And now I know this mystery. Sinners will alter and pervert the words of righteousness in many ways. They will speak wicked words, utter lies, practice great deceits, and write books according to their own words. But when they write down truthfully all my words in their own languages, and neither change nor diminish anything from my words, but write them all faithfully, all that I first testified concerning them, then I know another mystery. Books shall be given to the righteous and the wise. These books shall become for them a source of joy, uprightness, and much wisdom. The books shall be given to them, and they shall believe in them and rejoice over them. Then all the righteous who have learned from them all the paths of uprightness shall receive their reward. In those days, says the Lord, they shall summon the children of the earth and bear witness to them concerning their wisdom. Show it to them, for you are their guides and a recompense over the whole earth. For I and my Son will be united with them forever in the paths of uprightness throughout their lives. And you shall have peace. Rejoice, you children of uprightness. Amen. After some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow and red like the blooming of a rose. The hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes were beautiful. And when he opened his eyes, he lit up the whole house like the sun, and the entire house was filled with brightness. Then he rose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and blessed the Lord of righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid of him. He fled and came to his father Methuselah, and said to him, I have begotten a strange son, unlike a man and unlike the sons of men, but rather resembling the sons of the God of heaven. His nature is different, and he is not like us. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and his countenance is glorious. It seems to me that he has not come from me, but from the angels. And I fear that in his days some wonder may be worked upon the earth. And now, my father, I am here to beg and implore you that you go to Enoch our father and learn from him the truth, for his dwelling is among the angels. And when Methuselah heard the words of his son, he came to me at the ends of the earth, for he had heard that I was there. He cried aloud, and I heard his voice. So I came to him and said, Here I am, my son. Why have you come to me? And he answered and said, Because of a great cause of anxiety have I come to you, and because of a disturbing vision have I approached you. And now, my father, hear me. Unto Lamech my son there has been born a son unlike any other. His nature is not like the nature of man. The color of his body is whiter than snow, and redder than the bloom of a rose. The hair of his head is whiter than white wool, and his eyes are like the rays of the sun. When he opened his eyes, the whole house was filled with light. He rose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and blessed the Lord of heaven. And his father Lamech was afraid and fled to me, for he did not believe that the child was sprung from him, but thought him to be in the likeness of the angels of heaven. And behold, I have come to you, that you may make the truth known to me. Then I, Enoch, answered and said to him, The Lord will do a new thing upon the earth. And this I have already seen in a vision, and have made known to you. In the generation of my father Jared, some of the angels of heaven transgressed the word of the Lord. Behold, they committed sin, they transgressed the law, they united themselves with women, they sinned with them, they married some of them, and they begot children by them. And because of this a great destruction shall come upon the whole earth, and there shall be a deluge and a great destruction for 1 full year. But this son who has been born to you shall be left upon the earth, and his 3 sons shall be saved with him, when all mankind upon the earth shall die. He and his sons shall be preserved. And they shall produce on the earth not giants according to the spirit, but according to the flesh. And there shall be great punishment upon the earth, and the earth shall be cleansed from all impurity. Now therefore make it known to your son Lamech, that the one who has been born is truly his son, and call his name Noah, for he shall be left to you. He and his sons shall be saved from the destruction that shall come upon the earth, because of all the sin and all the unrighteousness that shall be consummated on the earth in his days. And after that there shall arise even greater unrighteousness than that which was first accomplished on the earth. For I know the mysteries of the holy ones, for the Lord has shown them to me and made them known to me, and I have read them in the heavenly tablets. And I saw written there that generation after generation shall transgress until a generation of righteousness arises, and transgression is destroyed, and sin passes away from the earth, and every kind of goodness comes upon it. And now, my son, go and tell your son Lamech that this son who has been born is truly his son, and that this is no falsehood. And when Methuselah had heard the words of his father Enoch, for he had shown him everything in secret, he returned and told these things to Lamech. And he called the name of that son Noah, for he shall comfort the earth after all the destruction. Another book also Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah, and for those who would come after him and keep the law in the last days. You who have done good, wait for those days until an end is made of those who work evil, and until the strength of the transgressors is broken. Yes, wait until sin has passed away, for their names shall be blotted out from the book of life and from the holy books. Their seed shall be destroyed forever, and their spirits shall be slain. They shall cry out and lament in a place that is a desolate wilderness, and in the fire they shall burn, for there is no earth there. And I saw there something like an invisible cloud. Because of its depth, I could not look beyond it. And I saw a flame of fire burning brightly, and things like shining mountains turning and sweeping to and fro. Then I asked one of the holy angels who was with me and said to him, "What is this shining thing? For it is not heaven, but only the flame of a blazing fire, and the sound of weeping and crying and lamentation and grievous pain." And he said to me, "This place which you see here are cast the spirits of sinners and blasphemers, of those who do wickedness, and of those who pervert everything the Lord has spoken through the mouth of the prophets, even the things that shall come to pass. For some of these things are written and inscribed above in heaven, so that the angels may read them and know what shall befall sinners, and what shall befall the spirits of the humble, of those who afflicted their bodies and were rewarded by God, of those who were put to shame by wicked men, of those who loved God and did not love gold or silver, or any of the good things of this world, but gave their bodies over to suffering, who from the time they came into being longed not for earthly food, but regarded all such things as a passing breath, and lived accordingly. And the Lord tested them greatly, and their spirits were found pure, so that they might bless his name. And all the blessings appointed for them I have recounted in the books. And he has assigned them their reward, because they were found to be those who loved heaven more than their life in this world. Though they were trampled underfoot by wicked men, though they suffered abuse and reviling and were put to shame, yet they blessed me. And now I will summon the spirits of the good who belong to the generation of light, and I will transform those who were born in darkness, those who in the flesh were not repaid with the honor their faithfulness deserved. And I will bring forth in shining light those who have loved my holy name, and I will seat each one upon the throne of his honor. And they shall shine for times without number. For righteousness is the judgment of God. To the faithful he will give faithfulness in the dwelling of upright ways. And they shall see those who were born in darkness being led into darkness, while the righteous shall shine brightly. And the sinners shall cry out when they see them shining, yet they themselves shall go away to the place where days and seasons are appointed for them.